Hello everybody, and thanks for joining today. I've got something a little bit different today, so regardless, I've got some equipment to look at. I've got loads of all early, like I would say late 80s, very early 90s, preferably even some 2010 stuff, probably, but I need to get through some of it because of the last couple of days I've been restoring the Sharp 4343 radios. So looking at the things on here, I do need to get through some of this stuff because it's purely, it's, hold on, that's out of questions. Yeah, so the mic volume's a little low for me. Right. Sorry, bud, because it's due to be all the way up. So let me just pull the camera down just a tad. Let's see how that is. Oh, bloody camera. I can't wait to get the other arm that I'm waiting for on that front. How's that? Is that okay? Is that a little low, or is that still... I can boost the microphone audio capture up a little bit. I can go up to about -3 to see if that makes it a little bit better. So yeah, oh, it's low, right? Okay. Let me pull the arm under because I'm using the microphone on the webcam itself, the 4K webcam. So because it looks a bit zoomed in. Right, okay. So yeah, we've got some equipment on that front, and if I quickly show you the front of the cam, this is, I've now set up another camera. So basically, the stuff we're going to be looking at today, this is only a very smidge of some of the stacks upon systems I need to get through. These have been sitting in probably in my shed and some in me. I've got loads around my mum's as well. I don't know if these work. So today I need to get through some of this audio equipment because I don't know. These were all like donations, and they might have problems. They might be okay. I don't know. I mean, they've probably been sitting for well over a year, so the chances are that this stuff is probably going to sit. It's going to have a few little issues on that front. So, yeah. So that's what I'm going to do today. I thought let's get some of this wired in because it's been well over a year, and I thought, well, what's the chances of that actually physically working if it's been sitting for around longer than a year? I don't know. Stuff like this probably don't take too well by sitting around for too long. So let's power some of this. Let's wire some of this up today because I need to get through. This is only some, and I want to get through more in next videos of the amount, to wire up to see if these have got problems or they might be okay. I don't know. I mean, the chances are, if these are okay, these are going to be auctioned off because I don't need this equipment. I've got a lovely setup with all my previous other equipment with my amplifiers and stuff. So that's what I wanted to do because this stuff is just building up and building up. And because I get a lot of this from donation shops and other bits and pieces, when certain shops are not allowed to sell it for obvious reasons, because it's not the first time any of this equipment's come in and it's actually physically broken on that front. So yeah, so this is going to be an interesting one on that front. So I think the first things first, if I put the camera back and let's see, it's we can start some wiring this up. So first things first. Let's take the speakers. I think them Toshiba speakers. So yeah, so this is a Yamaha. Let me Let's have a quick look. So this is a Yamaha Natural, so it's a twin cassette deck. It's a KX-W421 model. It's got Dolby, looks like it's got Dolby B and C. Yes. That's going to be interesting alone. So we can try that in a minute. First thing I want to do, let's see if we can try to power up any of this amplifier equipment, because as I said, sitting down on there, so we need obviously the amplifier first. So if we sort the amp out, we can get rid of the this is the what is that? That's the synthesizer that's got like a tuner. So that's the tuner deck. So let me power this. Oh yeah, it's not in the best condition. I mean, it's scratched up a bit underneath. Knob was pulled out, not the greatest. So let's see what ports we've got on there. So, which is going to be interesting because, like I said, so let me go into that. So we look like, first of all, we've got a phono. I don't know if this is actually stereo, to be totally honest. Most amplifiers normally are stereo on that front, but this is a very, obviously, I'll have to check the model of this because I don't know the history. JVC's been going around for many years. So looking at this, so we've got a phono, a tuner, and a video auxiliary. And then we've got a tape deck and, what's the other one? Play. What's the idea of a play? I mean, what's that, a form of, are these form of inputs? I mean, I know they're an input. What's this? Is that an input and output? I think that might be, play could be an output to, if you, but then I don't know. No, because it just says this section here is for tapes. So you can record and play. Record. So I suppose, is that an output? This might be an input. One of these might be an output and input and output. How's the audio, buddy? Is it still low? Can you let us know if the audio is still low, believe it or not? Because I don't know. You're saying it's still low. I've turned the gain all the way up on that front, on there. So yeah, I'm thinking. Oh, that's better. Yeah, because I'm using the camera. I've got to source some microphones because sorting it. But yeah, looking at these tuners on there, this one's a bit of an unusual. I would say a bit of an unusual one. It's mainly just push buttons. I mean, it's got 4, so it looks like 4 inputs on this on there. But I think what we're better off doing, first thing, let's get this wired up and then we can take it from there. Because first things first, because this has been sitting around and I've not touched this, so this has been sitting around for over a year. It's probably been sitting in my bedroom for at least 4 months. So probably, before I touch anything, let me just check the plug to make sure that there ain't no problems with wires coming out. Because again, this was just like many items, because I don't trust anyone else's wiring. That's tight. Yeah, that's alright, that's fine. What we got in here? 3 amp fuse. Yeah, 3. Is that 3? Should be. Yeah. I can't see properly. 3 amp. No, it is 3 amp. So 3 amp is fine for this, for an amplifier. At the end of the day, between 3 and 5 is fine. You don't want to put a 13 in on that front. So no, that's absolutely fine. All good, brilliant. So first things first, because I don't want to start plugging things in and things get the magic smoke and you know, and we're doing handy and literally take out. I've got a breaker. There's a circuit breaker built in this, so it won't. It would only trip that out, not the entire electric. So what I want to do, let's power this up. She's on. Well, we've got a red light. That's good. Right. I can hear that clunking. So that's obviously the transformer taking that load. These things probably would clonk like that. That's like a surge of power going in, and this is the trouble with a lot of the it's like a lot of these electrical equipment. When you're surging all that 240 volts straight into that transformer, you know, this is where it can actually, you know, it'll rather go bang, or it'll just surge that power and go through, and then it, you know, there's a possibility it could even shorten out a component, because there's no other way of taking that amount of power, and then the transformer's obviously got to govern it down. So yeah, I'm thinking on that front, that's, you know, this is the reasons why a lot of these systems tend to fail over time, because, you know, it's like I said, that surge, that surginess, I think that's what causes a majority of the problems on that. And I you know, and that's what I always worry about with these old brick systems. So first thing, I know that works, so let me just, because I like to try them individual. I'm not saying they may work, but there also might be issues. Because that plugs in and it switches on, don't mean there's any sound. So that's why I like to do one system at a time, just to make sure that I don't want to wire all this up. I always do it to shake test and all, to make sure there's no bits rattling inside, because I've seen some of these I've had for about 5 months, maybe longer. You know, that one's been 4 months, and some of this is probably not going to take too kindly. So on this one, we've got no output, so that's, oh, we have got an output, so we do have an output on there. So looking at this, we have got an output on here, so we can obviously go straight into the input on the radio side. So looking at the back of that, so we've got an FM and AM. I suppose these would have had like a coaxial going in for the FM, and the AM would have just been, because that would have been mainly in mono, and then it's down to the transformer to actually transform it all out. So I suppose you know, coaxial would have been fed in directly to give you your stereo sound at the end of the day. I suppose we can use a bit of wire, which I will have. I'll cut a piece of wire off, and I've got some wire, and we'll wire some up. But first things first, like always, let's just test. It's before I plug this in. Let me just check the plug and the condition before we switch her on, because don't want to have any problems. Again, we've got a 3 amp fuse, which is good. We've got no break in the wires at the end of the day, so the wires are good. The wires are nice and tight. Always like to make sure the wires are tight. Connection is key to these old systems. I mean, I don't know if the plug actually reached British standards. It's got the British Kite Society on, so these, like all these plastic plugs, you can have them in carbon, you know, or plastic. It's what's in it. So we've got to this point now, so we're going to switch her on, and let's see if we get power to this. See if I can turn that light off. That might actually be better, because then you guys can see it a little bit better on that front. And we have got a light, so we can, if I turn that off, she lights up. But because it lights up doesn't mean that we've got sound. We won't know that until we plug her in. So 2 for 2. Can we get 3 for 3? That's the trouble. Can we get 3 for 3? So the next one will be the tape deck. So, looking at the tape deck, now this is a bit of a kit. This is obviously a Yamaha's much bigger piece at the end of the day. Now, I don't know, again, its history. I don't know what's working, but we're going to test. First things first. Now, this one's obviously got a completely different system altogether. So, I don't know how long this one's been sitting around for. Now, this has got a security key. So you won't be able to take these out anyway because it's one of them type plugs. So we'll leave the plug in because I know that type before. I'm pretty sure that pushes in. This is what they call a European plug. You can take that out and take it to European, but I didn't see any 110 on this. So first things first, switch her on. Right, so let's power her up and see if we get power. And we do. We get power. So that's a good sign. But do we get output? So straight away, this is looking good. We got 3 for 3, all powered up with no power issues. I was expecting one of these to not power up, to be honest. So that's good. At least we're not going to have a power related issue, so we can test. We just need to test now to see if we can get sound. So the next task is put that back on. I vote yes for output. Yeah, do you reckon? I'm sceptical because this stuff has been sitting around for a hell of a long time. That amplifier that I just pulled out, it clonks when you turn it on. I can hear the surge of power going clunk. So yeah, it should. In theory, it should. So what we're going to do? Let's start off with the base model. So I'll need a plug. Well, I didn't want to plug it all in, surge that amount of power and blow something. So I thought it's a sensible way. Try one item at a time just to see. Because if this was all wired up and there was a grinder short, that grinder short could have gone through the circuit, gone through the audio auxiliaries and blew like something else. This is the reasons why I always like to make sure that when I'm doing testing, separate, one thing at a time. Because if there is a problem, it will just take the unit, it won't take the existing units that's plugged into it. So I think that's a sensible, good move to make. So, right, we've got one. I've got enough plug sockets up there, so that's not an issue, right? So, obviously, amplifier. We're going to do, let's do the amplifier and the, so you've got the amplifier and the radio. So we're going to do the radio. So let me just quickly go on to the Gitsu and then I can show you. And I can show you exactly what I'm doing. This is why I wanted to set up another camera. So I like to show, because obviously the overhead camera won't show you. So what I want to do is take the existing wires from here. So these are obviously, it's got output on this front. So looking, that's coming out from here. So we want to go output and we want to put these into the input. Except, right, let me put that camera down just for 2 minutes. It's obviously got a bloody cable tie written on it. That's it, there you go. So, right. So what I want to do is literally just put, now there's no, obviously there's no way of actually putting these in because they're not color coded. So yeah, I'm probably going to go just stab in the dark. Obviously make sure these are pushed all the way in. Right, so we've got phono. Oh no, it's not phono, it's tuner. See, I plugged that in the wrong one. It's got to go to tuner. Right, tuner to tuner, because it would be tuner. Not tuner as if you eat, right, stuff like that. And then what we need to do is source some, I need to source the speakers and a piece of wire, which I should have floating around, and then we can put that into that sort of device. So let me take the camera off for a minute and put the camera up there, and then I can switch the camera on again it's a little one of those little gimbal camera ones, the Git 2. It's a bit like the what's the other cameras they end up doing it very similar to that. I forgot the name of it, but yeah. So what we can do, we need to take the other plug and power this in, otherwise that's not going to connect. They're not turned on at the moment, so because I need to wire up the speakers. Now these speakers, obviously, if I take them, put these back over there. Right, let's move that over. It's the only thing with wires. I hate wires. I wish, you know, they'd done things like wirelessly or something like that. No, just like a concrete of wires, a jungle of them everywhere. Now these speakers, obviously, these are Toshibas. I think these come off a TV because it says on there surround sound output only. They're 8 ohms, 5 watts. So it's going to be overkill for what these are. I don't know, you know, even if these work, because again, these were slung in the shed at the end of the day. I can't see why not. They're just a speaker. They normally are just a few ohms on these. They're not powerful, but it would do for what we wanted to do. So I'm going to put these in now. With these, am I right in saying that with the speakers, now they're always going to have one side of the speaker with a solid white line? Am I right in saying is that the Earth? Because I think that's the Earth, and the solid black one would be the Live, because they always get confusing, because sometimes they say the solid white line is a bit like a capacitor, would act as an Earth at the end of the day. Oh, K-Slug's on. What's your K-Slug? How you doing, buddy? So yeah, would you say on that, on these wires, would you actually say that I would say that's the Earth, like on these, the solid ones with the one single white line, I would say the Earth, and the other side would be the positive. It makes sense. It makes sense to me. Yeah, I probably would go for that. So I'm going to put the solid white line with the black, which would make sense, and then I'm going to say that one. The solid black one would go to the Live section of the left side of the speaker. So we're going to do left from left, right. No, so this one would be the right. So I've got that wrong because I've got that as wide to the left. It'd be sounding back to front. So Live, so that'd be right. I like everything in sort of order, because otherwise you're thinking, Jesus, I don't know which one's left and which one's right at the end of the day. Right, no, that's me camera one. So we'll take that's this side, but it was back to front on there. So I'm going to put. I watched the stream last night with the amplifier. Yeah, really interesting. I love any of that type of equipment, and lucky enough, I have got some of it. I mean, I've got a lovely mixer, and it does work, but half the pots are stuck. They're frozen. They're literally solid. So at some point, I will have to do a video on that, because it powers my big 500 watt speakers up. What I've got in the living room. Lucky enough, my other amplifier does power them, so that's not really an issue. But this thing is 300 watts per channel. This thing is monstrous. Total output on it is 600 watts, but it weighs an absolute ton. It's a Carlsberg mix. It's a mixer, so hopefully, but I'll have to order some new pots, because I think half the pots are just broke or they're just seized because of lack of use. But that again, because it's got such a lovely sound and it's so powerful, but the chip blew inside it. Lucky enough, the shop actually repaired it for me. He had a spare chip, because you can't get the chips for some of this early stuff. And he ordered a new chip, put it in for me, and I think he charged me about £50. He didn't charge me a lot, and it got my amplifier back up and running, because I used it at discos. So if discos do come up, like, you know, they want to have a wedding or a do, I normally take my big speakers and I just take that big amplifier, because it's a bit of a beast and it's the only thing that gives it a thump because it's lower. I think that one is only because they go on ohms, don't they? Most of these big speakers, and I think that one is about 6 ohms. So the lower the ohms, the more power it can deliver on that. So with these are quite high, but I think they call them low. They're like a low impedance speaker, but it's got a bigger driver which you can pump out more power into the speaker and take it, because it's about a 21-inch cone in that. They're really big. So which I've got in a corner on them. So they're a bit of a monster, but I like that. It's because, like you said, I can't have it on for too late because my neighbour moans downstairs because I'm in a flat. And he says, like, well, you couldn't turn that down a bit, could you? He said, I can hear that through the floors. And I ain't got it turned up much, but it's just the way it delivers its power. So what I need to source some wire on that front. So let me just grab some existing wire, because I want to wire this up, because the next thing is, let's see if we can get... It obviously tested, it does light up, but I don't know if we got sound coming through, which I'm a bit dubious, because this stuff has been sitting around for far too long, and I'm a bit, I don't know, is that going to work? Let's go in my spare box bits. We've got some wire. There you go. This is why I like a box of bits, and we've got an LED on here. At the end of the day, it ain't gonna make no difference. What's that? It's not making. Yeah, it's just. What's that? It's just solid. Yeah, the plus. Yeah, it probably would make sense. The plus would be a solid, and then the minus would have a marking. Do you know what? I wasn't 100% sure. I mean, I could have googled it, but I wasn't 100% sure if that was going to be the case and the front of that. So what I'm going to do is just quickly strip some of these back. These were the old ones that I got from I got these from Woolworths when I was working Woolies, the gun. So quick blast and it just strips the wire back. It does the job. So I mean, you probably just use your finger. It's only because all you're doing with signal, you're basically just earthing it out, basically, and you can use your body. I mean, it says up to 300 ohms on this, which is not a lot. You know, I suppose in the ohm resistance probably wouldn't really matter at the end of the day. I mean, an antenna, they recommend, if you're using an antenna, they recommend minimum of about 75 ohms all the way up to 300 ohms. Now, I suppose you probably could, but 9 out of 10 people used to use bits of washing line, you know, because the longer, I know by my friend, before he passed away, he used to deal with retro radios, a bit like me on the front of there, and I always remember what he used to say to me was that the longer the wire, the more it can pick the signal up from like longer. So if you're using things like long wave, medium wave, you can pick up, obviously, you know, that's why these have monstrous towers to try to you know, give you that sort of signal so it can be broadcasted, because airwaves obviously travel. So you know, to pick them up, I suppose you probably would want a big aerial to pick that type of signalling up. So what I'm going to do, let me just plug in the other camera and I can show you guys what I'm doing, because I just tend to find this is just much more easier on that front. Let me go to Git. Right, is it froze? I think it's froze for some reason. No, is it froze? Yeah, it looks like the camera's froze. Oh great, lovely. So the camera looks like it, because it's not moving, I can see it. So we've got, for some reason, the camera's just decided to stop. The Git camera's decided to stop working, which is no surprise there at the end of the day. So let me go into OBS and let me go back into the Git to see if we got, there you go. So she's working again. It's sort of like just froze. So right, okay. So what I really wanted to do and show you how I wired this up, because I'll just find this a lot easier. So I'm going to put, obviously this has obviously come off an old PC. It's got an LED. It's not going to light the LED up, but I just want to use this as a temporary aerial. So I've put in the striped one into the negative side. Stuart Dreyfus said I thought it was going to be like a negative anyway, and the solid one I've put into the the plus side. So we should, that way they're in parallel with each other. So because these probably would be, because once that goes in on the board, they'll probably be just grounded straight to an earth. So it won't make no difference if you swap them over on that front, because you'll probably find in circuit they'll probably just be grounded. It'll be the pluses that'll be isolated, probably go off to the board somewhere. Oh, it's the other way. What? So what you're saying? What the yeah, because it says the minus is no mark. Oh, the minus is no marking. Right. So, oh right, because it's saying the solid, the plus is the solid one. Yeah, that's the way I've got it. I have done that. It looks like that's the way I've done it. I've put the solid one is the plus, because look, it's got paint on it. It's not that it's the wash stained on it. It's just the way, because this has got paint. So you've got a solid white line and black, which I put to negative, and this that's the one I put, and the solid black one with no line on it, I've put it to plus, but it's got paint, so it looks like it's a plus. It's not. It's just that it's covered in paint, because these speakers these were obviously, they must have been using decorating at the time. But I've put the one with the white line into the minus, and the solid black one I put into the plus. So I'm hoping that should be right. Oh, the stripe is the plus. Right, okay, then, so the stripe's the plus, right. You see, this is why I asked, because I haven't wired one. Now my one's colour coded. Obviously this must be right early, so the stripe is the plus. So let me find the stripe. So I'm glad you told me that, because if you're to reverse the polarity, you've got to be restricting on that front for that to go into the radio. So let me put that. Let's see if I can just balance that there for a minute, and let me see if we can put that in. No, it's the radio. Do you know what? It's got to be down to that lead. You know. Let me. I know what it is. It's that lead that's connected. So I'm glad you told me that. I thought the stripe would have been as well. Yeah. See, I don't know with these old systems. These I'll try it with the. See, that's what I thought. See, originally I obviously thought, working with old, I thought that the stripe would have been the earth, the solid one, but then I don't know. The way they've done this, without opening it up and finding the plus and the minus on the speaker, but to get these open, probably won't take much to find out, but would it make much of a difference if these went in the wrong polarity? I suppose it's only dealing with sound, isn't it? But then I don't know. I mean, would it be safe to say, let's open up a speaker and just to confirm which way the orientation of this wire goes round? Because again, these have been cut. Obviously, these would have had a phono connector. If these come off a TV, someone's cut these off, obviously, because as far as I know, surround sound, because these are surround sound speakers. The trouble with surround sound speakers is that they would have had a phono connector to plugged into the barrel jack at the back of it, so it would have given it that sort of surround feature. I'm thinking, I guess it would have just been out of phase. Yeah, I suppose in it. Yeah, come to think about it, but yeah, you're right. It probably would have been just like out of phase. But would that that might affect the sound quality, because you're obviously reversing the polarity of the speaker? You know, I think for safe bets, it would take just 2 minutes just to test one of these speakers. And let's just put this on the floor just for a minute and get the correct I'd rather get the correct orientation on this speaker itself, because just in case, you know, by reversing the polarity probably would have restricted the speaker. You could probably damage the speaker, and there might be that you could also, there's a lot of fragile parts in these. I don't know, by reversing it, because the more, obviously if you turn it up you're pulling more power. If you're restricting that due to the incorrect polarity of your speaker, there's a potential that you could damage the system. I mean, this already might be damaged. Because it's working don't mean that we've got sound, and I don't want to tempt fate and end up thinking, well, all for the sake of a speaker, let's just test it, open it up, let's just do a quick check, because again, I can't take them big speakers, because them speakers weigh over about 21 kilo each. They're extremely heavy. So I'm thinking, just for the sake of the video, I thought let's just take this out and let's just do a quick you know, check to see which way the polarity is going, because I'm a bit dubious with these. And then I could always put a little bit of masking tape. I think I'll do that, because I've got other systems to test. And the trouble is, because I've got other systems to test, I'm probably going to need these speakers. I'm just hoping they're okay, because again, they were slung in a box. So yeah, might be. Let's bring that in a bit more. Yeah, I'm thinking once I know this one, the other one's going to be the same as this, because these have not been opened up. I could just tell. No one's opened these up. I know what they've done. They just cut the ends and just used them as a generic speaker. Got this out of B&Q's. This little Bosch little drill. It's 4.7 volts, right? And this is 3.6 volts. This one, it's got a 2 amp hour battery in this one, but yeah, it's quite surprising. I mean, obviously Bosch being German, there's no settings on it. It's just preset, so you can't turn this or anything like that. But it was only £27. And it come with a load of bits with the box and everything, and there's no clipping or anything. It's just snapping, literally just snapping take out. Obviously got a magnet inside it. Great little device. I like to keep a couple, because I've got my own Arobi, which I've used this when I was doing my shed, and I wore this. It's had a bit of everything, but this one's preset. I've got settings on there, but they're just worn. But this again, fantastic, great little bit of kit. But I like to keep a couple, but sort of keep changing bits over when I'm doing. If I was doing when I've done this bench, when I built this table, all out of odd bits of wood, and made good of what I did. I built a frame and worked around it. I needed a couple of these. Saved me keep just saying, oh, I need a drill bit. I need a drill bit in one. I need a posi drive. I need a flat end in one. And I just thought, just have the tools. Just pick that one tool up. It just does that one job. So I thought, no, makes sense. That's probably why I grabbed it, and it was a good deal. She don't want to cut. Now these are never ever. No, they're still locked. I can feel it. So obviously. Right. So that's interesting. So yeah, right. So the speakers, obviously, let me pull this down. You guys can see. Now, what's the chances are, right? What would you guys basically say? Who was right and who was wrong? What would you say? Would you say the solid white line was the plus? I was going to say the one with the solid white line with the black, I was going to say that was a negative, right, and the black one being a positive. So let's see who was right on that front, and we can go from there. So let me have a quick look, and I can zoom in, and it should show you who was right and who was wrong. Right, well, that's interesting. So let me zoom in, right, so I can follow the white line, and it goes to this side. So whoever said the solid white line was the negative was wrong, which it was, I don't know who said it, but the solid white line on there is saying it's positive. And the solid black line, now I got that wrong. So I actually would have put that around the wrong polarity, and I'm glad I checked that at the end of the day. So the solid black one is the negative. The one with the solid white line is saying positive with it on that. So the white line is the positive side that goes with the speaker. So that's definitely interesting to find that out now, because now I know the polarity on that. So that's good. At least that's good to know. That is now I know I can safely put that back, and I'm not going to have any issues on that front. So white line positive. So let's put this back over. Obviously that's for the vibration. That's good. At least now I know that I did have that white up wrong on that front, and I'm glad that I did. So before I do anything, let's just grab a little, where's my, that's it. Let's just take that and put plus and positive, plus and minus. Plus, so we're going to put plus on a bit of masking tape. Right, and then that way at least I can keep that on there. This masking tape, bloody hell, it sticks like anything. Right, so obviously, so we've got plus on that side now, so we're not going to have any issues on that side of the the wire. So at least I know on that, and I'm going to put negative on the other one. So just put negative. That's it. That's good. At least now I ain't got to open up the other one. I'll know the correct polarity to put that in, just in case if that did cause an issue of, you know, I'm not saying it probably would have been okay, but that obviously, you know, if things are not wired up correctly, you're just trying to eliminate if there is a problem. Was that the cause of this that caused that could have contributed towards it? And that's what I always worry. So what we need to do now is put that back. That's good. At least I found it. At least now I would have wired that up wrong. I would have totally wired that up. I guess that just would have been out of phase. Yeah, I probably would have said like you. I would have said it probably wouldn't make no difference. But I thought, just in case if that is wrong, you know, that would have been down to my doing. Obviously, that looks like from that one. So we put that back into there. She's in there. We are still are we? No. I don't know where the other screw's gone. Because that's now not sitting correctly. It's sitting at an angle. You know why? Because the bloody screw's inside it. Right, okay, take it back out. I thought, where's the other screw gone? I don't want a screw rattling around in here. It'll drive me up the wall. Yeah, it is. Oh, and there's some bits of plastic and all. Oh, that's nice of them. Right, plastic. Right, put that one back in there. That's probably why it's not sitting back properly, because the plastic's broke. Yeah, it is. So that plastic was sitting on that corner. So these speakers must have been dropped at some point. I'm just hoping that they do work at the end of it, because like you see, I'm going too mad. Do and done. Right, okay, so we've got the correct polarity. I'm glad I didn't plug it in, because I probably would have said, just in case it might have popped something, and then said, well, that might be down to me because I wired it up incorrectly. Right, so I won't put the wires back into that. So first things first, now I know that the plus is the I did write it down. Plus is the white one. Right, so plus is white. So I would have wired that. That would have been wired wrong. I didn't think it was going to matter personally, but obviously it does. So I'll just, for the sake of the video, just hoping these speakers are good at the end of the day. Right, so that's interesting in there. I've just got to wire up now the little other little wire to the side, so we can get some earth like that. Tighten that side up. Lovely. Right, interesting. So let me just quickly show you guys if this bloody camera thing lets me do. Let me go into that, go to that, go to the git. Yeah. So basically, is that wired up? I think it is. No, it's me. Sorry, got it upside down. So what I'm saying is, I've put the wire in, right? So I've got the wires in up here, wired in, and now I've wired this in. I've wired this up correctly. So the solid white line is now going to the plus. Solid black one is going to the, on the negative side. So we should be good on that front on there. So hopefully, hopefully we should now get something on the radio. So remember, I've not tried the tape deck yet. I don't know if that works. I'm hoping so. Even though it lights up. Now we did earlier on. We did plug all this in. We tested one system at a time just to see if it powers up, and it does power up. But because of the nature of this and how long it's been sitting around, I'm just hoping this is all okay. I've not tested the other ports, so I'm glad we got the tape deck, so we can put the tape deck into this, wired in conjunction with, because remember, transformers, when they're under load, it's obviously going to pull more power. So, I mean, that amplifier alone, just looking at it, it's saying 50 hertz at 150 watts when it's under load. So, obviously, the more items you're going to put through it, the more load you're going to pull. So, let me put this. It's the only thing with this type of equipment, it's not the easiest to sort of, due to copyright, I can't have this on for long. I'll get flagged and I'll have my, I literally will have my video taken down, which obviously I can't have at the end of the day. So hopefully, but I'll put the other camera on, right, and then I can show you guys. It's just easier. So if I switch the other git camera on, right, which is good. So what I'm going to do first is switch her on. So live at the moment, all good, right? So Now we did power this. I don't know if we're going to get any sound. So first things first, crank the volume down. Don't want that blaring out. JVC. We've got power. We've got a power light, which is good. First thing, JVC. We got indicators and we got some lights on. So tuner. Yeah, we got no speakers. This is what I'm saying about we've got no output. Now this is what I'm saying about earlier on. We've got no, it may work because these ain't been tested. We've got no output, which is a shame unless them speakers are dead. We've got nothing. We've got nothing coming on the output at all. So this might have to be a future video where me have to look into this with this alone to see if what's causing this output, because it could have been now something blown, because I've got a stack of this gear and like I said, I'm gradually now starting to go through it, and that's a shame because we obviously got speakers on and off. So already we got nothing, literally nothing. Got loudness, treble, well, that's a bit stiff. No, so that's stiff. Right, there. Obviously, I assume these are presets on that front. Muted station, FM. It's bleeping away. But now, what the only downside is: are these speakers any good? Because the chances are, the only other way I'll do is to take the speaker out and now test the speaker if we got blown speakers, because chances are we could have. Easy to test the speaker, touch the beat. That's exactly what I was just going to do. Do you know what, of course, you literally read my mind. That's the next task I'm going to be doing. So we'll power this off. Good that these power on. The buttons were a little bit stiff, but I suppose in due to where that was sitting, I'm just amazed because this is over a year old, plus on top of how long it's been sitting in my bedroom for. I will have to try to test some of this gear. I mean, this, you know what I was saying earlier on, I've got an arcade sitting under here. I've got to source this out at some point. This was another donation. I've got a bar top arcade that I've got to sort out at some point. I mean, it's obviously got, I did manage to work, but I think the iPack is got to be sorted. So that's a future update anyway. So that'll be another one that I will have to get round to doing. But with this, I don't know if it's an output problem or speaker. So first things first, let me just take up this speaker. It's good to have a second camera because I'm still waiting for my other camera to come from AliExpress. It's a little webcam that you can, a bit like the Git, but it's more better. It's a better quality. I mean, that's good, but it's, if I move it around too much, it pulls on that port and then it just freezes. So, which is not ideal. So first things first, let me unplug one of them speakers. I'm just hoping that speaker is not gone good night, because if it is, chances are, because we should have got sound out of that, so that indicates to me the amplifier. I'm just hoping the amp for the sound hasn't blown, because if that is, it's game over, because the chances are getting a chip for these is not going to be, you know, because these have, I'm pretty sure these old amplifiers, these old amps have what they call an opto amp. It's a chip to create the sound to go through, and the chips for them are, I'm not sure with JVC, but I'll have to check. But the chances are to get one of these working, fully working, I don't know. I'm a bit skeptical, so I'm hoping. What's that? Most likely, it's most likely the outlet of the IC of those. Right, interesting. Yeah, but they do have chips, and they are, these old JVCs are known to go bad. Like a lot of these chips, because I know by my Panasonic one I've got over there. Not Panasonic, the Pioneer. The Pioneer one I've got over there. It was that chip that went down, and I was just lucky the old boy had one. But he said otherwise. He said you wouldn't be able to have done that. He said it would have just been a no-no. Now, when it comes to batteries, can I use any battery? Because I've got a lot of C-class batteries laying around. Would that still cause that? Would that still work if I use an old C-class battery? Because look, I've got plenty of these sitting around, and these are fully charged, so wouldn't have to give it a go, would it? So would it matter which way I go? I don't think it would. No. So we have a good speaker. That indicates to me that's not good news for the amplifier, unless these wires ain't the greatest. So it probably would let me prune the wire back, because that wire looks so dark and tarnished. Obviously it might be down to the connector in there. Or actually just try and, that's weird, isn't it? I mean, yeah, that will. So yeah, let me spin her around. That's such a shame, because I was really hoping this was going to be a-okay. I really did at the end of it. So where's my little torch? This is why I like little torches. Let's grab my little torch. I've not even tested, I can't test that, obviously I can't test the tape drive, because if the amplifier's not working, I'm not going to get no bloody sound out of it. So this is why I like to keep these torches, because you know these are great. You can see if it's making connection, because again it might not be making connection. I've got one side connected and I can actually see that's actually bit into the port. So let me just switch that on and let's just power this. No. No. Absolutely got no output. Oh, right, okay. So this is going to be interesting. This is why I've not got round to testing any of this equipment. Now, obviously we've got nothing on that side. Let's plug it into that side there. Let's go back to that side. It's a shame, because I would have liked to have seen this working. Yeah, these wires ain't not the greatest, but we've got obviously nothing. I can feel it. That is bitter, but we've got. No, that's a shame. Lad, these speakers on and off. There weren't no other speaker outlets, wasn't there? So that's for the DIN. No. So you see what I mean by leaving systems sitting around for so long. Now I don't know. Now without another amplifier, I don't know if this receiver's, if the actual stereo antenna's working now, or the tape deck. So obviously I'm going to have to put a note on this and put this one to one side. But for the time being, let me grab a working amplifier just to see if this is working, because again we could have issues here as well, or the tape deck, because I don't know if this is. I could at least put a note saying powers up, no output. Obviously no output from the speakers, so this will definitely be a comeback, because now I'm going to have to investigate that and see what could be causing it. It could be, you know, it's obviously going to be a component gone, you know, on that front. But we've got literally nothing. It powers up. I can hear it, but we've literally nothing. Nothing at all. Right, okay. Interesting. Turn it all off. So obviously it's not the speakers. We do have an issue with the amplifier. So let me grab I have got a Harman Kardon surround system stereo receiver. So I'm going to grab that, because that was my old system before I upgraded and got the Pioneer one, which I'm using. Not the Pioneer, yeah, it was the Pioneer one that I'm using now at the end of the day. So I need to, that's what I need to do. I just want to see if this, because this might not still work yet. We still might have some issues, because I don't know what's working and what ain't working. Because like I said, I'm only gradually now started to go through all this stereo equipment. Oh God, it's like spaghetti. This is the only thing with these type of systems. You know, they are absolutely a nightmare to work on, because you think, Jesus, you know, I only wanted to I only wanted to test it. Obviously, you've got to wire it all in, because you don't know, otherwise you won't get no sound. So let me put a quick note on this. So I'm going to come back to this and have to investigate it. So that's why I've got sticky notes. That's why I go through a pack of sticky notes like you won't believe, because I have to label everything, literally everything. You know, where I've done laptops, bloody Xbox 360s I've had to do modded on. You know, a lot of them have had bad hard drives, and that's without a stack of PCs. I mean, I've still ain't even got through all them laptops over in the corner. There's a stack of laptops sitting over there, and I ain't even powered them up. I don't even know what the hell's wrong with them. I don't. Probably going to have keyboard failure or hard drive failure. So I'm going to put powers on. Good. But no sound, no output sound. Sound from speakers. Okay, ERS. Yes, it. Power's on. Good, but no output from sound from speakers. That's it. Good. We can come back to that now, and we can deal with that. So that is going to be obviously a future video, because this is obviously an integrated amplifier. So it'd be great if that could, because that's part of that other one. So that's going to be one we're going to have to come back to, which is a shame. Definitely a shame. Right. Now, this is obviously one of... Oh, look how dusty she is. She's been sitting here for a long time. Let me just quickly put that dust on it. Now, this was... I bought this from Richer Sounds. I bought this as a complete system, and I paid 600 and something with all the speakers. I've got all the speakers for this, because she's got a beautiful sound, and she, again, incredibly loud for how light it is. I mean, she's seen, it looks like she's seen better days. It probably didn't help with the dogs snotting all over it and with the spit everywhere, but I mean, obviously, yeah, look, saying about with the spit, it's bloody spit everywhere. Look, if I move it up, you can see it on that front. This is what I'm saying, because it was the way that where it is situated. But, and all the Harman Kardon symbols have come off it, because I've had this probably close now to coming up to about, what, I would say about 7 years. So yeah, she's a bit, you know, she just needs a little bit of TLC. I'm sure I can get back. Now, this one here, obviously, she's obviously a bit of a brute, because she can take up to 4K on this one. So this one's quite a good stereo receiver. So obviously you've got your 7.1 surround on this one, but we have got some inputs, so we can do audio input, because we've got audio. I'm sure we can do audio input. Oh no, actually, come to think about it, analog. Would that be analog? Yeah, I suppose that would be analog, wouldn't it? Yeah, because audio in. Yeah, oh God, thank God for that. Otherwise, I would have had an issue. And a look, yes, analog in, audio in. So we can do audio in. We can do audio in on that one. FM, we'll have to make a connection up from that. I know, I suppose you wouldn't, because it comes out. It won't come out of there because this has a built-in stereo receiver, so you can listen to the radio. Because this does other things as well. Because with all these HDMI inputs, and you've got all of these as in. So how many we got? We got 5 inputs and 2 outputs. One of these is ARC, Audio Return Channel. That's what ARC stands for. So I suppose that would be directly from things like, if you want to pull it for a capture card, and then you can control it that way. But we're only interested in just for an input. So let me find a kettle lead, which I have got down here somewhere. Yeah, like that one. No, that's not a kettle lead. I've got plenty of them bloody kettle leads. I know I have set these round. Yeah, I pitched a PC one. Now I know that's only a 2-pin. That's another bad mistake on these, right? Which I'm really surprised because, again, right on there. Let me have a quick look. Now on here, obviously, you've got like there's no earth pin on these, so you've only got your live and your neutral on there. So which I'm really surprised because I thought these would have literally just put like an earth. It wouldn't have cost them to put an earth in and ground it, because the reasons why it's best to ground is, one, it dissipates all of the electronics if there's a grounder short. I mean, by putting it internal, they've put that directly in line with the transformer, which probably wouldn't be a great idea if there was a short somewhere along the line. Well, I wouldn't be happy with that, but they have started to do, power supplies like that now. Supposing with modern components, it probably wouldn't make no difference at the end of the day. But do you know what? I don't even know if this one still works, because, like I said, this has been sitting around for a long time. And again, the way these systems are, they don't take too kind for sitting around on that front. It's defaulted view. Let me go back into that. Let's go back into, let's have a look. Give us 1 minute, guys. Just fucking, the thing's knocked all the TV out. I know it's still all right up here, but my mouse is right on top of my videos, because it's just, I find it's just easier. Click live, and then I can go back into it, so I can just keep a monitor on this system on that. So if there's, just in case, that's better, and then I can go to top chat to live chat. At the end of the day, turn the volume up a bit. Right, yeah, that is due to the camera, because I'm using the audio for that front. So what I'm going to say is, let me bring OBS back up so I can see the chat, and also I can see that. So what I'm going to do, let's plug, because again, this ain't been plugged in for a very long time. I'm hoping that it should be okay, but as like all these systems, they don't like being left for that front. So what we're going to do, we're going to quickly power it on. We got an orange light, which we do, which is a good sign. So we're going to, and we need to click power, and it should say auxiliary. So we're good. I mean, on the JVC amp. No, I did. I did turn it. I cranked it all the way up. There's no output at all on it. There's literally, for some reason, there's just no output. The output seems dead. So, but I want to test I want to test that tape deck, and also I want to test the stereo receiver. See what I mean? Now this is starting to flicker. That wasn't a good sign. That shouldn't flicker. These should be solid. So what I need to do is go source select. This thing's got tons and tons of digital channel, RDS, server, auxiliary, composite, antenna. We only want stereo. So we are going to need. We're going to need to. We've now got a port. We've got to wire the speakers up to this, because, like I said, I haven't. Because there's connections down here. What's that? Oh, it's a USB and a phone. Right. Okay. So I've got it on stereo. So I think for the time being, it's going to sleep. I don't want it sleeping. I want it turned off. That's it. You have to hold the button. Now this is again. This is got quite a good system set up on this, because there's obviously HDMI. It does DTS HD on here, and you've got all the Dolbys. So this gives off, because it deals with 7.1 surround. I'm not really one for speakers set up around the living room, and because I mean, remember Dolby Atmos, like a lot of this stuff, it is good in theory, but they're just gimmicks. I mean, 9 out of 10, they are just gimmicks. You end up thinking, yeah, it's got a lovely sound at the end of the day. So, first thing, let's put this back on top of here. It's not going to be on long enough. I need to put that in analog 1. So I'm going to put that in analog 1. And let's take them speakers. And at least I know the speakers are good. So we need to take front right. Now with these ones, obviously. Now, did I say the speaker on that one? Oh, that probably won't help. Was that the plus? The solid white one was the plus. Yes, it was. So the plus is on the red, which is on that. Now I can show you the guys of what I've done. And now these ones are different, because you can add these in barrel jack, or just put the wire in and screw them up direct. But I don't know if that. I mean, I want to test to see if that tape deck works, because I don't know. Again, might not have no output. It might be a dead cause. Because these light up don't mean they're going to work. Because like all this stuff I've got in the bedroom, I mean, I ain't even got to the record players yet. I've got 3 record players. One's 1960s, no, one's 1950s, 60s and 70s. So I've got from the 50s, 60s and 70s era. Again, not got round to fix it. I've not got round to testing them. They're sitting on top of my wardrobe. So that would be interesting to see if these are. So let me show you guys quickly, and then I can show you what I've done with the camera. So right, so obviously I'm not worried about the antenna on this, because this has a built-in antenna. So I want to I'm using this as the obviously the output. I've put that because this is only audio. This is not going to be video. So I put the audio output into the audio analog in, and I've wired one side of the plus on the front right. So it's got front right, obviously, because this is 7.1 surround. So this is full surround on this. That's why it's color coded, so it's easier. So I need to wire the other one to the front. Obviously that's front right, front left. So I'm going to do that quickly and take that camera back off. Let me wire that one back up, because I need my hands for that. And then hopefully, I'm hoping that works. It's a big hope, because now looking at that stereo, that amplifier, which is a shame. I've honestly thought that was going to be a simple plug and play. Thinking, oh, you'll be all right there at the end of the day. No. As I said, it's probably due to how long that's been sitting. I reckon that's probably not going to do a lot of this electrical equipment any good on that front. So these ain't the easiest to get in, because where's my tweezers? Jesus, they've put that in so tight with that gap. If I put that into there, I want to eliminate. I don't want to end up putting that in only a little bit and it's not making great connection. I'm thinking, oh great, has that got a problem? Because these you tighten up, so I know these will make great connections. So in we are, I can see they are all making good connections, so we are good there. So let's spin it back round. Oh, Jesus, do you know what, that's only 2 items, right? You imagine back in the early 80s you had stacking systems that sat on top of each other, and you must have had about a 7 to 8 stack system, and you're thinking, Jesus, this thing weighs a bloody ton, you know, and you're thinking, Christ, that's not for the faint of hearted with these, because you honestly thought, no, you honestly thought that you're not going to have any problems. But yeah, you know, unbelievable. Right, let me just quick, I can't see that, let me just plug these. Where's that camera, where's that Git camera? Elgato, right, Git, right. So on there, it's now, that's now, obviously I've got the plugs switched in on there. So now obviously I'm going to put this on, switch this on, and we now need to find an auxiliary, obviously for analog. Bluetooth, V-tuner, network, iPod, USB, but we're not getting no output. What? Do you reckon, because again, this was working, right, with this, with the source, right, but for some reason I should have had audio coming out, even without this, but I've got no sound. And oh, we are, I was going to say, TV, audio, set-top box, gaming HD5, audio antenna 2. Right, let me just plug that one in there for a minute, guys. Let me just see, antenna 2. I did see antenna 2. Right, let's take that one out. This is why I said about trying all this stuff, is because I've put it in antenna 2. So I can hear that, so I know these speakers are working. Right, so it's got to be down to these, and it's got to be down to the inputs. I'm hoping that is working. That's the only thing with these complicated ones, you know, I like something that's simple. But with these like stereo receivers, TV optic, audio, right, FM. Oh, there we go. Right, I'll put that onto mute. So it's strange because right, okay. One's got an auto, one's a manual. So hopefully now that's down to the aerial, isn't it? But we're not picking nothing up. So that's got to be down to pure trying to he's doing an auto search, but we're not obviously got no signal coming out. Or like picking up the aerial waves. But would that be down to the type of wire I'm using? Because obviously it's trying to search, and it's in FM mode at the end of the day. Yeah, that's not the greatest, is it? So let me see if I can put my finger on that and see if that, because sometimes using your finger might grind it out, and see if we can try and put something on that. So again, this could have an issue because it can't pick a signal up. This is what I'm saying about earlier on, because it powers up don't mean it's not a problem. So this could have something to do with the signal not receiving the signal, because that's trying to search up and down the channel. Oh, speak to the devil. Yeah, there you go. So let me turn that down because of what's that. That's fine. So that took a little while. So hopefully, let's try that again. So we did pick something up. Yeah, now it's picking up. Now that was searching for quite a while. It's working now. So that's good. I can put a note on that saying that this is working on that front. We can go, at least I know that I won't have any issues. So yeah, it is coming out on the speaker, so that's one good aspect. But this bleeping and going up and down, searching on that front, it's just a shame the amplifier is not outputting. So yeah, it's going down. Can't seem to pick a lot of channels up, so that I would only put that down to the what type of wire that I'm using that's causing some of that issue at the end of the day. So yeah, I would say there is a chicken, winner chicken dinner on that front, but not the greatest of. It's really sensitive because some of the equipment's really sensitive at picking up channels. But then that's also, you've got to take in consideration of the type of wire you're using and where it's located, because if you've got a lot of electricals on top of it, that's also going to affect picking up signalling with these stereo tuners. This is a quartz one, so, but it's not picking up a lot of channels. So, you just see it, guys. It did pick up some. Obviously, depending how big that spectrum range is, because it looks like it goes from 88 hertz all the way up to 108 on the frequency. So obviously that's quite a big range of the spectrum for that pick up. But it's not picking up a great deal amount. I wouldn't say it does pick it up, but I'll turn it off. That's, to me, at least I know now that that is working on that front, so that's good. Second, because now I know the speakers do work, let's plug in that tape deck now. I can put a quick note on this saying tested, does work on that front. Not the greatest, but she is got signs of life that it does work on that front, which in a way I was a bit dubious, because I thought for a minute there, I thought, is that gonna literally, we're going to have a problem there on that front, but lucky enough we haven't. We didn't have an issue. So that's part of the, it's one good aspect about trying after this equipment on that front, because like you said, it's the only thing with these type of when when you've got loads of this type of equipment laying around, the wires just get instantly tangled up. I mean, you imagine in the 80s where you've had a stack of that, the bloody wire system. Christ, it's like, it must have, I mean, it's like a disaster waiting to happen, isn't it, basically? So let me quickly put a note on that. At least, already, now that's not been on long, and that's getting a bit, it's just started to warm up. Literally just started to warm up. I'm going to put a little bit of masking tape and put on there tested or working. I'm pleased that is. It's a shame about the amplifier, but that can't be helped, because that's just going to be one of them unfortunate things that the amplifier, there's not a lot you can do. But but that'll make great content, because now I can investigate that. There's no guarantee of me fixing it, but We don't know until you open it up and have a look. So I'm going to put just going to put tested. All working. Brilliant. And then I can put today's date, which is going to be, that was the 1st of the 11th today. Bloody hell. 1st of the 11th. 25. Wow. Good. That way, I then can see when I have to come back that I have then tested this. I don't need to retest it. So it makes sense to actually put a testing note saying now this can go back up, you know, because I know now that works. So let's try the tape deck number 2. Let's try this tape deck, because again, this lit up. I don't know if this tape deck, this Yamaha tape deck, actually physically works. I'm just opening, so far, can it be 2 for 2 that works straight out the back? Now, if I remember correctly, I've got to source some audio cable leads on here, and I've got a stack of them, which is not going to be a problem. But good luck trying to find them. Now, oh yeah, did that? Oh, that's got the built-in plug. All right, so fine. I was just worried for a minute. I thought, hang on, if I've got to put a wire into it. At the end of the day, go. Jesus, unbelievable. Bronson. All I see, boys, your toys. I need to trod on one of them. We ain't flying. You know, probably ain't going to help on that front. Audio. And I've got stuff of audio stuff. I've got another Nintendo. Yeah, right. Oh no, that's not. That's for the Nintendo Wii. Oh yeah, talking about the Nintendo Wii. I ordered the ribbon cables. It's going to take over a month to do. You know, when I've done the that Wii mod for that Zippy drive, the cable got torn. I've ordered 2, so I've got them on back order. Hopefully, they should be good. So we've got some to come on that front. So I want to, because I was gutted at that tour, and I was really ultra careful on that front, and I didn't really. I thought, I said to you guys, I said it's only a matter of time before that rips, and hey presto, it ripped right out the socket. Jesus. There's a box of leads on there. I mean, I still can't even get to half my tapes, cassette tapes. They're buried in that corner. Man, I've got an Atari ST high frequency monitor there on that front, but I thought I had tried to source some bloody leads out. Oh no! Total disaster. It's the only thing when you're streaming like, you think, oh no, hang on a minute. I know I've got some. Let me just nip next door and I'll go and grab one. I've got me, I might have some in a box of these somewhere. Right, 2 seconds and I'll find some, see? That's why I do a big box of leads, always mount them up. So what we've just got some standard audio jacks. I like to make sure I've got all the leads for this radio, because I've got so many radios, so much system. So we need an output, so we need play, red at red, white at white, which is good, and right, this is going to be fun. Actually, I forgot on there, have we got an auxiliary? analog, yeah, we can. We'll put it back into number 1. Because again, we're only outputting when it comes to that. So let me swing the camera around. Right, so second number 2, right? So Yamaha, I'm going to switch it on. Now I did test this, it switched on, which it does. Very dim, you know, with these lights. Mind you, it don't help. Let me switch that off. That's better. You can see a lot better. It's the bloody glare of the thing on it. Now, this one's obviously got a manual eject, so we've got Deck A. Soft touch. Right, so let me grab a tape. I've got some tapes down here. Now, this is one of the tapes that I used yesterday. So, we'll put the tape in. Now, we need to select audio on the source. Cable select. Network, iPod. Bloody hell, you have to go for all of... I mean, I've got the controller for this, but it's so complicated. Antenna, audio. Right. Now, will she play? Disc. Obviously, you can see it is playing. And she is. So it is working. So that's alright. That's the main thing is, right, okay, let's stop that. Right, because of copyright. Oh, what rubbish is on it, I do not know. But the main thing is, she does work. So, and she does. Could do with a little, that's a little bit, it sounds a little bit oxidated on that side, on deck B, because one of these, see, this is a record and playback. So, this one's just a playback, so that won't have a recording it. So I suppose back in the early days, when you used to do, because I remember these tape to tapes, if you want to do a copy, when I used to say to my friend, can I do a copy of that? You used to play his tape and then record it on that side. So that's probably just a little bit oxidised on that, and that's nothing. But at least the main thing, that works. So the issue that we have got, and that I'm going to come quickly. Now we can just switch all this off. Let me just power this device off properly, because you turn it off and it just says we'll go to sleep. So you have to hold your hand on it. But the main thing is it does work, which I'm totally relieved on that front, because I honestly thought for a split second I was a bit dubious looking at the other one, because of the sheer how long these have been sitting around for. Obviously not great at the end of the day. So oh Jesus, what was that? Oh, it's the screwdrivers. It's alright, let's put them up there. So yeah, I'm thinking I was quite relieved on that front. That is all good. So again, I can put a quick note that this is being tested. It does work. So we got 2 for 2. At least the now look, now that's only been on for that's been on for what, probably 20 minutes, half hour, and already that's getting more than toasty now, because you've got some really big drivers in these to actually deliver the power, because these are obviously quite loud. Yeah, I suppose it have to be on that front, and that's the trouble with these power supplies that's in these. There's no fans. They just rely on, when you've got systems sitting on top, it recommends that you don't sit anything on top of it, because obviously that excessive heat that's coming out is cooking it underneath of your other device. So you end up probably thinking, bloody hell, that's getting a bit warm, isn't it? Yeah, it's for that reason. So what I'm going to do is take them, so at least we know the speakers are good. And I'm going to disconnect that. Get that taken away, put that back underneath the oh, my other system is a Technics. It is a Technics, not Pioneer. So mid-80s. It was Technics and I think Technics, Pioneer and Sony. They was all around about that time anyway, I think. let me just quickly put a bit of masking tape and just give a quick note. This has been tested, it is all working. These items that I'm testing will be going up on eBay. Probably going to be processing, the proceeds are probably going to go towards a children's charity, like I do with a lot of my. I don't need the money, I just don't. But I'm probably going to put this on eBay. The last one I raised, I think I sold an Xbox 360, got modded. The bloke modded it for me, didn't charge me, and I put a bundle together because the money went to Great Ormond Street for sick kids. I raised £286. I was actually quite proud. I got a thank you letter. It's put in there. Test. All good. And today's date is the 1st of the 11th. 1st of the 11th. 25. Yeah. So. So I'll probably end up doing something like that. I mean, I've got too much. I mean, the hospice give me a hell of a lot of stuff broken, but then after the time they can't be bothered to check it, so it might have something wrong with it. So at least I know this is good. This does work. That's 2 for 2, which I'm really pleased because the chances are I didn't really. I thought I was going to run into a problem. So let's take that amplifier back out. One that's got a problem. What if that could have just been a simple thing as not being connected properly, because you should get an output on these, and I've got nothing. It was completely dead, which is I was a bit dubious on that front. What we got? So we got good 7 paper. So let me take. See what I mean with wires? Jesus, it's like a spaghetti junction. Right, spaghetti junction down there. Put that there. That can go on that side. Watch me mouse. Right, I don't need the audio cables because I'm not worried about that for a minute. Put them down here. I'm only going to source one speaker to put one in. Let's put the one that's got the plus and the minus on it. Let me just quickly wire this back in. Obviously why we end up doing that. It'd be a shame if this has got something blown inside it, but I'll have to watch it because obviously powering this up is obviously putting charge in the capacitors. And mucking around with electrics on the power side will hold high voltage, probably all the way up to 250, and that's enough to give you a belt at that front. So yes, at least that's good, because I don't know how long they've been sitting down here for. Obviously for quite a long time by the sound of things. These are making connections, I can feel them. At least we know the speaker's good. Which, to me, is a bit of a blessing on that front. But, let's see. Nothing. Well, you would have had. Do you reckon by wiring the tape deck up direct? Because I'm thinking sometimes with these have what, if I remember correctly, some of these might have an audio select where it won't detect nothing until you plug something into it. Because I have had some mid-90s stuff that since the 1980s, with a lot of this old equipment, they started to advance it, which they started putting in auto features of what they, so it obviously it won't detect nothing until it sees a signal go into the actual circuitry. I mean, I've not known it, but some don't. Some don't work like that. Some of them say no, we've got to wait until we get a receiver signal before it switches on. Obviously, some of the late equipment obviously probably might have that, but I don't know with this, because I'll say this. Looking at this, I'm going to say this is mid-90s. JVC was around about that. I mean, JVC's been going around since the mid-1980s. So this probably would have been very late 80s than most, early 90s or mid-90s. So it's going to be around about that sort of era. But let me wire that tape deck back in, because I've got the... now I know that tape deck works. I'm just curious to see if that's the case, because obviously the other one with that weren't really it didn't pick up the signal too great, did it? Obviously the JVC, the other audio side. So let me see if I can go into, if we've got an output, tuner, play. So we need, right, that's play. Obviously that's an output, isn't it? Or is that it? Tuner, phono. No, it would be. That's record. No, it would be play. Right, okay. So we're putting that in here. We obviously need to put that into that. That into that. We've only got one speaker plugged into it, but let's have a look. Let's see. So tape. Play. It worked. So I was right. So there is nothing wrong with the output. So, what's the chances of that? So I was, let me spin the camera around and let me turn that around. So I was right, guys. There is that took a little while for that to come on, but Jesus, that made me jump. I'm 6'5". No, the camera's gone. Let me go back into the thing. I'm just pleased that is that was the case, because I thought, for Pete crying out loud, I thought that might have an issue at the end of the day. Right, so let me go back into the Get camera and then I can show you guys. So what I've basically done, right, this obviously you've got selectors on here, right, on the tuner side. I did select tuner, right, and this was turned up, because if you turn it up, look, if I stop that, you listen, you get no sound, not one. So I'm cranking this all the way up so it don't go anymore, but there's no sound output. So this is what I'm saying to you. I think this has got what they got, because some of the early JVC models, they have what they, as soon as you select it, right, sometimes it don't always come on because of this auto selection function. And I think this is what they started doing. They started putting this auto function feature in. So when I press tape, obviously when I tried it with tuner, we got nothing. And obviously if there's nothing going into that, that's why and I've cranked the volume all the way up. Normally you get like a hum or a hiss, and that's not the case. So on this one, it's completely dead. So you're assuming that you've got no output. Well, obviously you see me wire it up. So, you know, I've got this on tuner, and it does work lovely. So I thought, right, so what about the treble? Yeah, that works. Obviously I need, that's alright. So yeah, I can't, because obviously copyright. But she is working. To me, I was a little bit dubious, because I thought, oh no, that's probably why it ain't bloody wired up. But no, I'm just grateful. That's what I thought. Let me just quickly go back and test it, just because that really worried me. I thought, oh, there's no output. Obviously, you would have got something on that. But obviously, because this has been sitting around for well over a year, probably coming up to a year and a half, I'm actually amazed that's powered up at all, and that actually physically worked on that front. So the tape deck works lovely, that's the main thing. Obviously wants a little bit of a clean, probably clean that, and because it's got a little bit of oxidation, because this side sounds clearer, this side sounds a bit dull, so it probably, looking at the heads, I would say, where's my torch? Looking at the heads in here, this is why I like to get right in. This is why I love torches on that one. So this one's obviously got the recording head on this function, but I can see a little bit of oxidation, just a tiny little bit of oxidation on that. So that probably would help to give that a little bit of a clean on that. And that's obviously got like a soft opening, what they call a soft opening. But I'm pleased that JVC amplifier is working. Now I can take that note off now and put a note and make a note. See, this is what I'm saying. I always like to make notes and put things on so I know I tested and it is working. So, which is really pleased me, because I thought, for crying out loud, I thought something else I've got to have to open up. And these are not the easiest, because they're known for their chips to go bad at the end of it. It's like a lot of these early stuff, they do have these chips in, and once they go, good luck trying to get the parts from me. It's probably not going to be great. So the only thing is I didn't try the right hand side, but to me that's still a win. That to me, I'm just grateful that that's actually that is all physically, that is all working on that front. And I can't see why, but for some reason it won't pick the tuner side up, which is a bit strange. Do you reckon I should hi all, hi Pico, how you doing bud? I'm glad you joined. Yeah, do you reckon what I should do now, do you reckon I should put both I'm going to put both speakers in, and we'll try that, because obviously the very first time I tried that, is that might be because this ain't been booted up for such a long time. Perhaps it took a little while to charge them capacitors up, because that could have been another reason why this wasn't outputting anything, because then capacitors take a little while to charge up to get the electrons in. So let me just plug the, I know it's going to work, but I think it's a sensible move to go down this route, because I don't want to end up just saying, yeah, it all works, so, and then, you know, someone buys it and then end up saying, no mate, what you on about, it don't bloody work. You think, oh, for crying out loud, I just tried that, you see me all try it. So I'm going to plug it into tuner. I'll tell you what, them connectors ain't great, they're all crusty. They're crusty as hell. So, plus and plus, so this is going to be the plus. So and I'm going to put both of them speakers in. Perhaps, you know, like, you know, when JFix had that laptop, right, now he had that issue, didn't he? He had that voltage regulating, it was popping up and down at the end of the day. Now, because he was mucking about with it, all of a sudden he was getting his 19 volts. Isn't it funny how you've not fixed, it was purely blind luck that where he was mucking about, he must have disturbed something on the board to get his full 19 volts for the laptop to boot up at the end of the day. Obviously, without tearing the battery clock thing, because they're an absolute nightmare. But that's, I suppose it's a bit like this. I have not opened this up, but I suppose because this has been over a year and a half old, where it's been sitting around not doing nothing, perhaps that's took all that time to get all the components working again, because these are not great for sitting around, obviously, for obvious reasons. You know, you're surging that power, and then you're thinking, oh, for bloody hell, what, you know, why? It was working the last time I plugged it in. So, what did I say? Yeah, that's the plus. So, plus, minus. So, what we're going to do, we're putting that on there. Now I'm going to switch both of these on, and then I can show you the camera. So, we should now, in theory, that should just physically work. So, we got power, right? Now it's turned down, I've got them wired in, we've got tuner, we'll undo tape, we put it on tuner, and we can hear already. So for some reason, well, is that working on that side? Well, that's funny, isn't it? Because that side there, the left and right, it's all coming out in one speaker. Obviously, you've got a bass on that one. Let's plonk a bit of bass, a bit of treble, and let's turn that down just a bit. Yeah, the left hand side on there, I've actually put it onto the left, but it's still coming out on the right. So that's a bit unusual. Obviously, that must be a mute, but it's now working. That is weird, but it is coming out on both sides of the speaker. So let me turn it down just a bit, and let's see if we can. That's weird. That is very strange. But obviously, that sounds like one of them bloody alarm clocks. You know, like the old, them old alarm clocks in the 1980s. They used to wake you up. But the amplifier is working flawlessly now. I reckon that might just took some time just to power up, because it's been sitting for getting on for a year and a half. And now she's breathed a bit of life back into her, so the components are now working again. But again, this tuner is not picking up all of the channels. But again, if you crank it up, there's nothing. It feels like it's dead. So, looking at that,
something Pip told me, but in front of the wall.
So yeah, I'm definitely going to say that I reckon that's what's happened. So these are now all working, but I reckon when I first tried it, I got nothing. I'm thinking it was only due to all that excessive power. It was waiting to charge back up, because obviously it's been sitting for so long. But I can now put a sticker saying it does work. But the balance output, when you do the left and right, the right is, even if, because it's supposed to, that must be isolation on that front. I mean, that probably is a little bit I mean, if it was oxidised, I suppose you'd hear a crackle. I suppose because it's where it's dirty on the connectors. But I'm not getting none of that. But for some reason, the left and right, if you do full left, it still comes out on the right as well. So I don't know. It's a bit strange on that front, but the JVC integrated amplifier, because this one's a Wassam, it does work. It physically does work. Obviously, you've got like a speaker output. You can turn the speakers on and off, like a lot of these old systems. But I'm grateful that that is now working. But first of all, it wasn't. Even that's why I like to power them on separately, just in case. I thought, well, just in case it might just have a problem on that front. And lucky enough, well, it did it first of all, but then the second part, it decided that, you know, we put the. That's why I said, let me go back to it. Let me plug it back in. So it's a bit like, in a way, it was a J-Fix moment. I didn't touch it. I ain't opened it up. I just virtually left it plugged in, plugged it back in, and all of a sudden it's now working. But, you know, I'm not saying that might not happen again, because obviously, depending how long this is sitting down. But I can now say that integrated amplifier now is tested. It is all working. But we've got other equipment next door, which I'm going to drag a piece out, because I ain't going to end the video on here, because I've got a stack of it. So let me just put, because like I said once I've restored that Sharp radio, I'm going to start going through all my amplifiers and receivers, because I've got a bedroom full of it. It's loaded it's near enough loaded to the floor, more than past than my wardrobe. So there must be about 60 units, and I don't know what's working and what ain't. So that's why, obviously, I can't do 60 units in today. I'll do a couple. But at least if I start going through these, I can now test them and start seeing if these work or not. So I'm going to put test. All good. And today's date is the 1st of the 11th. Wow, 1st of the 11th, 25. There you go. And that way I know that I've tested it and it's all good. If I put in post-it notes, they bloody come off. So that's the only thing with them post-it notes. They're not that sticky. So I'll just use a bit of masking tape. It does the job. So that's good. So I would say, for a system that first started off that didn't work, even though it switched on, it ended up didn't get no sound output. So, and that was cranked all the way up. But if nothing's plugged into that, that's extremely quiet for an amp. Normally amplifiers give off a hum or a buzz because it's because of the way of the transformer is. Well, obviously you're always going to get noise feedback from the transformer. I know you've got noise suppressors on most of these. They go through a coil. The coil's supposed to suppress the noise, but you'll get a slight hum. I do with mine. I'll get a slight hum on that. This is it's got to have something in it to actually grind that completely out, because that's extremely quiet. I mean, that's impressive for an old system. I mean, what is this? 150 watts? 150 watt maximum output. So for an 150 watt output, I would say that's really impressive for an old system, that you don't get not one bit of sound bleed out of that at the end of it. I'm not saying that you're not going to have great quality, because I'd say it depends on what type of speakers you're driving on it, because speakers are always important. And I've got a room full of speakers. There's Pioneers, there's Sonys. I've got little, you know, I know I've got a Kenwood somewhere. It's probably buried in a cupboard. So let me go and grab. Well, the good thing is these speakers work. I was a bit hectic because the way they look like they've been dropped. So let me go and grab another system, and now we've got 3 that's working. I'll tell you what, guys, this is one monster of a system. Jesus, that is, I didn't want to say it, I had a job picking that up. I've got to put that on the scales and see what that weighs. That's extremely, extremely heavy. And that's no exaggeration. No exaggeration. That's got some serious weight. I've got 2 of these. I've got a Pioneer and a Sony. Now this is a stereo. This is a Pioneer Advanced Resolution Digital Audio Interface multi-channel receiver. It plays Windows Media. Wow. This was buried on top of some other stuff. I've just dug this one out. Now again, not powered this up. I don't know the history of it, but Jesus, look at the connectors. Oh my God, that is ludicrous. When it it's got, this is even, wow, it's got HDMI. I'm not going to be able to do all this testing. I won't be able to test them. These are obviously for the composite side, but these are all going to be inputs. It's got, well, you've got 1, 2, oh, so you've got 4 inputs of the HDMI, at the end of the day. What about the front? Front, centre and surround and back. So it's got 5-1 surround, not 7-1. Which ain't bad. I was expecting that it probably would have been about right, but Jesus, that's got some serious controls at the back of it. I mean, it literally, you've got on there, you've got optical. There's a lot of optical ones. I've never seen that. But that's a USB. It's an old analog USB interface. But look at all these. I suppose these all would have been for like my Pioneer Laserdisc player, because all my Laserdisc players got all them outputs, so I could probably put all that in. But Jesus, she's a beaut. But let me put her on the scales. I'm curious to see what she weighs. Yeah, Freddy, God, that thing weighs some serious amount. Right, okay, so let me put these. I've got some digital scales down here. Right, so let me put these down, and I can show you guys I'm not exaggerating. Right, now these are industrial scales. Right, I use these when I do my eBay stuff. Right, so it's all in kg, and you can clearly see. Let me pull the light off, because you might be able to see it a bit better at the end of the day. It all lights up blue. It's all fancy and all that, but let me just put that. Right, now that's obviously, it's not zeroed, so let that zero again, so there's nothing on it. Yep, that's zeroed. Let me put this beast on there. I'm curious to see what she weighs, because she's not this. Jesus, I kid you not, that's exactly what she weighs. 16 kilo. That weighs more than a kid. I mean, that's ridiculous. That weighs more than a small child. You know, 16.10 kg. Wow. You can wonder at it why these things are a monster at the end of it. That's unbelievable. Anyway, that is. Jesus. I've got another one that's the same size as this. I mean, it should just barely fit on the bloody table. Jeez, that is seriously. Let me pull this back up. God, jeez, she's one of the bitch. She's some seriously pulling power on that. So I think this is going to be the last thing I'm going to test today. God, I'm out of breath. Wow. So. Because obviously I've got to dig all the other stuff out, and it's piled all on top of each other. So, because I like to do a couple of systems, but I want to go through it, because there is stacks of this stuff, and I do need to test if this is all working. It might be working, but have we got output? Yeah, exactly. So. First things first, we're going to have to source a kettle lead, which I did have down here a minute ago. Here's the kettle lead, because these never come with no leads, so they literally come in, and we can't sell stuff like this. It's far too heavy to transport at the end of the day. And if this does, these are probably going to end up on eBay, as I said, like most of this stuff is, but this is going to have to be by a pickup, because obviously 16 kg, I haven't got a box to wrap that up, and the chances are that's going to get damaged in transit. So that will have to be picked up it just has to be picked up. So like always, first thing I'm going to do is let's see if this powers up, and let's see if we got anything on the screen before I plug anything in, as usual. So I've got the plug on, so no orange light, which is strange on that front, but we do. So we've got a little blue light, and we have got music. So because I'm against you guys, I haven't operated one of these systems. I've never owned one at the end of the day. So how do we open it? Oh, here we go. So this one here, We got speakers, tune, AV parameter, setup, return. Oh my god. Source band, video select, signal select, processing, stereo. It seemed really good nick. I mean, there's no gouges on there, just a little bit of the dog spit that probably went up there, and a little bit of flicker of paint. I think that's just paint. I've got no nails, but I ain't going to scrape that off because I don't want to damage the perspex on it at the end of the day. But we have got, is this, hold up a minute, because we've got two controls here. Ah, right, so obviously, right, I see. So this one obviously deals with all of the volume, and this one deals with all of the, I just heard that click then, HDMI, SAT, TV, DVD, iPod. Oh, it does iPod and all, wow. Phono, has it got Bluetooth? Eh? CDR, tape, oh right, mini disc. I've got a mini disc. Got my mini disc one over there, USB. No Bluetooth. Interesting. DV, no Bluetooth. Wow. TV, DVD, and laser disc. Yeah. No. So we've got no Bluetooth. Well, that's. I suppose in these days, Bluetooth really wasn't available on something like this. But I'd hate to think how much that would have really cost. I mean, this probably would have set you back at probably around about £600-700 to buy something like this back in the day. But I mean, obviously, this is well built. I mean, look at the sheer scale of this, the amount of vent holes. It's just full of it. I mean, it looks like it's just been, someone's gone around and think, right, put a load of holes in at the end of the day. We'll put loads and loads of holes in. We'll put holes on that side, holes at the back. That side ain't got no holes in. So that's interesting. So I suppose with this, you really can't put a lot of stuff on top of it. But we haven't rectified as this got sound. So, but the blue light goes out. So there's no blue light on standby, which is interesting at the end of the day. So that's interesting. So what we're going to do next then, well, what we'll do, we'll put, let's wire this up and see if we can get, God, 16 kg. Wow. Jeez. I mean, you wouldn't need a workout, just pick these up. You literally would. Right, so first thing I'm going to need to do is, what did I say again? The plus was the what? Was it the stripe one? I can't remember. Yes, the stripe one is the plus. Right, okay. So the stripe one is, see, that one's got paint on it. I think that one's bloody striped. Right, front right. Right, so we put that one there. That's on the plus. Because that's got the plus on it. Oh, for Pete's sake, crying out loud. Jesus, this thing just, it's so heavy. You don't want to drop this because, sorry, I know I've got a porcupine here down that front at the end of it, but someone's put blue tape or something on that. I mean, obviously they must have put that there for a reason. Just probably stop it from earthing, I suppose. Where's that, No, I can do it from the top. Good. Yep, that's connected. That's connected. Good, good. So we're now to do the other side now. Obviously, that's the front. You've got surround, centre. Right, okay. Sorry guys, I've got my bloody big head in the way and you can't see what I'm doing. But obviously, I'll try and wing it. Yeah, that top one. Top one's fine. I can do the top one. Plus stripes. Yes. The thing on it. So 16 kilo. God, Jesus, she's a beaut. I mean, you know, just don't drop her. Because that's obviously, but again, have we got audio? and that's what I'm really worried about. So first things first, we're obviously not going to get anything, so I'm going to have to wire the tape deck back up, ain't I? So obviously I'm going to have to try some of these connectors, because otherwise we're not going to have a bloody sound out, and we won't know what's working. But Jesus, I'm not joking. It feels like you need a serious workout with this. It's that heavy. And I've got another one of them. It's a Sony. So I knew I had a Pioneer. I didn't know if it was a Panasonic. It wasn't a Panasonic. It was a Sony. It was a Pioneer. So, okay, let's go back to the cassette one. This bloody cassette's been in and out like cat not bricks. Right. It's good that the others work now, because I was really a bit gutted about that. I was really worried about that JVC. I thought, oh, that's a shame. Hey. How you doing, buddy? Yes. You're missing part of it. You're missing all the goodness. I just tested that amplifier. Put it on the scales. It weighs 16.10 kg. So yeah, she's an heavy bitch. She's an heavy lady. Very, very heavy. Oh, melting. I'm actually hot now. Oh, I left the cassette in there and all. Oh, will help, wouldn't it? You obviously you dingo. You ain't plugged her in. You ain't gonna get an output if you don't plug her in. So let me put that on there. Bloody connectors. I mean, seriously, mates. I mean, how the freaking hell would you? I mean, if you had to set this up behind your TV, right? You imagine all the wires and the leads for this all to come out. You're thinking, no. You're thinking, not only have you got all your wires for your surround sound, you've got all your connectors. So you imagine if you could literally wire every device into this. Literally, because you think about it, you've got all your components there. You've got your composite side, you've got your video, and you've got your audio, and you've got your HDMI's, and also if you want put it into a sub, you've got all the sub outputs as well. I mean, this thing's got about bloody 2 subs that's coming out. I mean, most of that you get them in good quality audios like Harman Kardon, like that other stereo receiver I've got down here. But Jesus, this thing is just mind-blowing. Right, you've got multi-room on here and source. I haven't even got a clue what that is. Right, we've got inputs here. So let me put it in an input. Audio input. We've got CD input. Output. Oh, Jesus. We've got, yeah, subwoofers. Yeah, you're right. There is 2 subwoofers. 2 subwoofers out. Pre-out. I don't know what the pre-out is. I think some of the pre-outs are, they go into the subs, because some of them have that as well. So we've got it into audio, phono in, but again, I've got to push it on there because otherwise it'll fall off and go bang. It's the last thing I want. But bloody hell, I can't even move. That stereo receiver literally has took all the room up on my table. It is that wide. Oh, this is going to be fun, isn't it? Let me grab the camera. Right, I can't even see. Do you know what? It's so tall. I can't even see the view. It's blocked. It's like it's blocked all the sun out. Seriously, it's like it's blocked all of the connections out. It's that wide. Right, let me plug the camera in. I've got to sit right back because this thing's so bloody wide. Right, we've got output. We've got the tape. Right, so let me turn the thing off so I can see you guys. So you can see it much better. I know the signal's down. Wow. Right, let's click play. So we've got playing on here. Now, let me turn the volume all the way down because I don't want to get a copyright strike. Video game. HDMI, USB, tuner. We have got out, but it's not great. I can hear it. It's not great. But that could be down to settings on here. So we have got it selected, but that could be down to speakers off. I reckon it's all going to be down to bloody settings, you know. Bloody hell. This thing's way out of my league, I'm telling you that now. This has got buttons like you would not believe. Audio return. 77 decibels, so it sort of tells you at the top on that front. It's got audio, auto, system manual, data, Jesus, input setup, DVD, TV, digital, coaxial, optical, oh my god, link, rename your channels. Do you know what? How did we get out? Right, we got out of that. Tuner band, band setup control, video select, TV, sat. Yeah, it's not the greatest of output on that front. I wonder if that could be, should we try a different input? Signal. Because I'm really lost now with all of these bloody buttons. Speakers. Speakers on. Surround on. Action. So we got action, sci-fi, drama. Oh my god. Right. No, because I'm just pushing buttons at bloody random. Direct, stream direct, pure direct, MCFR, auto, direct. It sounds distorted and it's got a job to come out. So let me plug it in. Because looking at the back of here, we have got stereo, but it is coming out and it is plugged right. So looking at that, let me just quickly come out of that. That's, yeah, no, I'm not, that's not great. That's not great sound. Oh, I've knocked the bloody channel thing there. It's saying it's on phono. I don't think that's right. That's plugged in. I think phonos, because phonos have a bit of an audio output. So let me find another one of TV, satellite. We've got CD. Should we try a CD? Let's try a CD. Let's try the one down from it, and we can go from there. Sorry, guys. Holy moly! Right. Can you hear it clicking? CD. That's working. That is working. Hey, do you reckon? Let me go back for a minute, right? Now that's working, but it's not great sound. I wouldn't say like, you know, I suppose in these ain't the greatest of speakers, but let me plug it back into that. That sounded, because the other one sounded distorted. Perhaps I just didn't crank it up enough. I don't know. iPod, multi-channel, phono. Yeah, it's distorted. I suppose in looking at something like that, it's probably wouldn't have been the best idea anyway. So again, let me pick another one. Let's pick something out, because I can't bloody see a thing here. Let me pick a channel out. Sorry guys, I know I'm right, probably badgering right in. I've got to hold this because I don't want this thing coming off. I've got to know all about it. We've got multi-room out. What about DVD and Laserdisc? Yeah, so I'm going to put white to white. Let's try some of these plugs. They should sound a lot better than that, you know. That's sounding crap. I mean, yeah, you know. What was it? Laserdisc. Nothing. This thing's got too many inputs. CD, CDR, tuner, phone, multi-channel. It's on Laserdisc. Oh, I don't know, I'm confused. HDMI through. I reckon it's down to bloody settings. I reckon it's these settings again. Mac off. I reckon it's down to them settings. Yeah, you're putting too high a signal through for the phone. That's why it's distorting. Yeah, you're right. It is. It's exactly it. I think the phonos, because if I remember correctly, phonos have preamps in. That's what boosts the signal on there. But that I'm not getting nothing. But it might be because it needs a video source signal in as well. But these might be. I don't know if I'm putting these in an output or an input. I think might be putting these in the input side. It's got so many on there. Output. What's this one? Yeah, DVR out. That's it. Because then you've got DVR in. So let me put that into DVR. That's in DVR. Oh, that knocked my head on that one. Right. DVR. I don't know. This thing's got. It's got too many inputs. Far too many. It worked on CD. So, again, no sound output on this. Like, you can crank this up. Again, it must have that same technology as that JVC. It's whisper quiet. There's no hum or nothing. We've literally got. Now I can see the counter buzzing around, but again, I don't know if with these. I mean, the speakers are wired up. You can clearly see the wires are wired up to it, but it's these bloody inputs. Play. Ah, do you know what? I might be putting output to output. Let me put input. That's what I've done. I've just realised, because again, that would be an output. That's why this ain't working, because you've got to put. The output's got to come, it's coming out, it's got to go to the input. So let me try that again. I bet that works now. Set. No. Alright, could be wrong. Yeah. That's alright. Not, I wouldn't say it's like mind blowing, but we've got all difference. Let me show you guys, and I can show you what I'm doing, because that is, it's just that's froze again, isn't it? Yeah, this bloody camera. I can't wait for the other camera to turn up, because I ain't going to have this issue. What I have to keep doing is selecting. It's the connector on it. I think because I'm moving the wire around. And there you go. So it's just easier just to show you, basically. So if I crank that up, it's on minus, that's why it sounds low, but it starts going all the way up. So I have to, it'll overpower me. So got musical, mono, 7th theatre. But it's just all these buttons are just Neo, game mode, 96 kilohertz. Oh God, what's all that about? music, and then you've got all of this direct. It comes up like a direct button, and then music it off. Now it's come up with a bloody orange thing on there now. Memory off, on. Now it's got a red symbol come up. I'm just pushing buttons at random. But I haven't got a clue how to operate on these anyway. Classic, chamber, jazz, rock. But and then you've got all of these connectors, stereo. The main thing is she is working, but obviously with they're surround speakers, so these are going to be mid-range. They're not going to be bassy at the end of the day, because they're only designed for for the surround sound, so they're probably not. But looking at let's turn it down because of copyright. That's the last thing I need. Right, if I keep that low, but yeah, you've got all these buttons, and I've not got a clue how to operate all these bloody buttons, because you're just pushing all the buttons at random at the end of the day. But so the phono, obviously you need the preamp for that, because obviously that's what it does. So it boosts up the signal. That's probably why it's oversaturated on it. But everything else, it seems to be working. I've just tried the CD. I've put that into an output on that, into the input side, not on the out. I think I've got the leads muddled up. I put the output to the output. That's probably why I couldn't get nothing. You've got to put output to input. So looking at that, I would definitely saying that this is, I mean, them screams are dim. I mean, you know, the way they designed these things. But yeah, now I know this is working. That's good news. Again, it's got to be sitting in my bedroom for about 6 months. Well, because I've just thought, just like all the rest of this stuff. But I'm going to leave the tape in there, because something tells me I've got more amplifiers to test, because I've got a stack of them next door. So I think these ones that I drag out today, what I'm going to do, these ones are going to go on eBay. These ones are going to go up for sale. So if anyone's interested, I'll do a bit of investigation, because I'm pretty sure these do fetch a little bit on these amplifiers. Not as much, but they do fetch a bit, because again of the rate on it. But yeah, they're probably going to be roughly retailing about 150. I would say that sounds about right for what this one fetches, about 150. The tape deck, I'm not off the top of my head, normally roughly retails about between, depending on the make and model, I think these Yamahas fetch about 65, 70. Without the JVCs, they're probably going to be roughly around about 45 to 65, which is about right for what these go. So the money that's going to get going for these are going to get, obviously the money's going to go to charity. So I'm not bothered about it. I'm just grateful that they're working, and I ain't got to work on them. But obviously these will have to be buyers pickup only, because I can't, putting that on the scale, that weighing at 16 kg is off the scale. That's nearly 20 kg. It's not impossible to transport, but obviously in that condition, because it's in really good nick, it's no gauges on the front of that. It's got a little bit of paint. I suppose in a little bit of IPA will get that off, but you've got to be careful. I don't want to take any symbols off, and again, IPA can react to plastic, so I'll have to look into to see if I can get that without damaging on that front. But yeah, that you will have to be picked up, because obviously I ain't going to transport that. That's going to get damaged in transit, and they won't take much to break them because of that. And again, it would cost a fortune, nearly 20 kg to transport. So, and I ain't got a box to put it in anyway, so not that size, because picking it up, I thought, bloody hell, that's heavy. So I think these ones the ones I tested today, I'll give them a quick clean up and start snapping some pictures and putting them on there. I can put them on, I can put a link in Discord if anyone's interested, and these will go straight on eBay, and there'll be a buy it now price at the end of the day. I think, because I think I'm pretty right in what these fetch anyway, because I deal with this stuff with eBay side, so you get to know roughly what these fetch. But these once upon a time, I can imagine that fetching at least roughly around about £600 to £700 all day long when that got launched. Maybe even a little bit more, you know. But that probably would have been because the amount of inputs that's got is colossal. It's literally got. I mean, a lot of these old systems wouldn't have had HDMI input. They would have been phono, you know, barrel jack connectors and, you know, things like that, SCARTs, but not. This one must be mid 2000s, I would say. The reasons why I say that because HDMI come out in the mid 2000s anyway, so that probably would have been about right. But the tape deck works lovely. I'll give it a quick clean on the right side. Sounds a little bit oxidised, but I'll clean that. I've got some oxidised head cleaner. I will give that a quick clean and put that one on there. And yeah, I would say that sounds about right. I'm thinking I'll stick probably. They're not going to be crazy price. They're going to be reasonable, but hopefully they're breathing new life in someone's property because the amount of stuff that I've got. And if I spin it round, because I can show you guys on there, and I'm not making it up. I've got big. There's two. I've got them big speakers are 300. I've got big speakers in the corner. They're like a PA speaker. They're 350 watts at the end of the day. Without my Pioneer, the separate systems, I've got more over in now on that front because, like I said, I ain't even got in the corner because I've got a stack of consoles piled up, and I now started to pile them in my living room because I've got no room in my bedroom because there's stacks and stacks of this stuff literally piled up. So I do need this stuff to go. I mean, as it is, I've got to look. I think that'd be the next thing. I want to look at this arcade, this little bar top, because I've got to look at the iPad on there. It's been sitting under there for about 9 months, so it needs addressing. I've got the back door for it. I think there's a Pandora's box in there, so again that will be auctioned off as well because I don't need it. I've got a gaming rig. I'm not going to use half this stuff, so I need, because the more stuff I clear out, the more stuff that the hospice tend to bring in for me. So it's being replaced, so it's constantly being turned over. So I'm thinking with some of these, I need this gone because I can't keep storing it. I am literally running out of room. I mean, I've got to put that together at some point. I've got to put my, I've got 3 Atari STs. One of them it's working, but one of them's got a black screen, completely black screen. I think it's got a RAM issue, but this one, I tried testing it, but it looks like the RAMs are gone. The RAM chip's gone in that side, so I've got to source some RAM chips and see how much the RAM chips are, and then I can then put that one up for sale because again I don't need them. I've got my Amiga sitting up there on top of my Arcade 1-Up with all my other stuff because I've got my own retro corner, and that's enough up there because I've got enough. But then when you have a bedroom full of it, I'm adding more and more and more, and I mean I don't need this stuff sitting around. I've got stacks of it at the end of it. I mean, as it is, I've got brand new packs of slippers sitting under there. I've got a shed full of this, and I've got a motorbike I've not even looked at yet. It's not starting up with the carburetor, so that probably it's a Yamaha scooter, little 50, lovely little bike, but it's been sitting in the garage now for nearly 2 years. I just ain't got round to doing it because you know I'm putting it round my mum's now because I'm running out of room round here. So there's more stuff constantly keep coming in, you know, and then consoles. That's only some of what I've got over there. They're all. Obviously, I've got 2 big boxes filled up. They're all 360s and Xbox One S's. Obviously, some of them have been modded on that front, so they'll go in there, and the money again will go to charity, like the last lot. So yeah, so this will be going to a good cause anyway. But I'm thinking I'll put a buy it now price, and whoever's interested, and they're more than welcome. But that beast will have to be picked up. I can't deliver that, obviously, for that reason. Because it's just damn too heavy to put into place. Because I've just dumped it on the scales, 16.10 kg, which is colossal. I'm not going to even dream about trying to box that because it's like trying to box one in big reel-to-reels. which again I sold one of them reel-to-reels, put it all together, did manage to get it working, and it went to Nigeria, but the bloke wanted to pay the shipping. Fine, you know, but again I raised £167 and it went to cancer research. I'm quite happy it went to a good cause, so you know, it's a win-win all round. So this stuff, yeah, hopefully this will breathe a bit of life into someone's property, but you've not got a lot of connectors on the back of this, so I'm quite happy with it just to go, because I know that as soon as that's gone, there'll probably be another lot waiting for me to pick back up and redo all this again, and it'll probably get piled up until I can get round to doing it. Some of it, like that little radio, I wanted to keep for myself because that reminds me of my piece of history at the end of the day, but I don't need none of this. I know it's all fancy and all that, but trust me, I've got a nice little setup over there, and it's not a lot, but it'll do me for what I use it for. It's got nice sound, and that's without all my disco equipment. I've got literally a cupboard full of disco equipment. I've got disco lights I've not even plugged in. I don't even know what's up with them at the end of the day. I've got to sort that amplifier, my sequential ones out, because it needs new pots, because the pots have all done. But yeah, the back on that though, guys, I mean, that's just mad. Literally, can you fix the HDMI board? Can't fix your HDMI board. What's that one? Also got an 800 receiver from 1979 due to dual transformers. Ooh, right, yeah, that might be a bit of an issue, that one, mightn't it? I mean, look, I think whoever wants that, I mean, literally, I'd say you've got enough ports in the back there to keep you going to Rapture, you know, at the end of the day. So, let me unplug. Oh, Jesus, this is what I'm saying. I've got that takes all of the table up. So let me unplug this, and now I know I can port. If I take that out and take that out, Jesus, it's literally, I'm not joking, it's literally covered the whole of, it's took the whole of the table up, and that's no exaggeration on that. That is colossal, the amount what this takes. Right, take that out. Let me take this out, guys, because this thing's 16 kg. I don't want it falling on me. That alert at the end of the day. And I've got a Sony one of these as well, and the Sony ones are even more fancier. It's got more buttons on it. As if this ain't got enough buttons. But yeah, one last look at the back. It's mad. It's mad. Yeah, she's a beaut, but she's there for a reason. Oh my God. I'm just glad that did not fall on my foot, because that would have hurt. But we did have a little bit of an issue. We had a bit of a J-Fix moment on that JVC there. It powered up, but we had no output, and then all of a sudden it decided to work. So yeah, that was a bit of a funny moment. There, it took a turn for. I thought for a minute. I thought, oh, that's why they got rid of it. It's purely for that reason. But again, it was all bits like this slung in boxes. We get stuff like this on a daily basis. After time, I can't take any more. I've physically got no more room. At the end of the day, I went, no, enough's enough. I've got wait till I get some of this down. Once some of this is gone, because I've not got around to. It's like everything else. I'm rather doing another repair or repairing a computer at the end of the day. So, which I could have really just. This is why I'm not getting round to getting half of my stuff done, because purely for that reason, I just can't seem to get it fixed. Yeah, purely you can't buy the chips. Let me read some of your guys' comments on that front, but unbelievable at the end of the day. Let me see if I can blow the camera up. Right, text colour, creative 4K, camera, Logitech. Let's blow the Logitech up. Right, good. Right, guys. So yeah. So as I said, let's pull that down a bit. So I'm thinking, with some of these items that I managed to end up getting, you can now understand the reasons why they take up so much room on that front, and this is the reasons why I can't keep storing it, obviously for that reason. On that, sorry guys, my throat's really dry. I've got a throat like Andy's flip-flop, it's really dry. I have this strawberry still as the flavoured water, and it's actually lovely. It's got a really nice flavour on that front. But yeah, with I mean, I even tried some of them other toys. I mean, I've got a little Game Boy there. Actually, while we're here, let me just quickly test, because I hadn't even tested that, to be honest. I've slung it up here. It was another little gadget that ended up it was another little gadget that ended up putting let me see if I can put it down to the camera, and then I can show you guys. So what it is on that. So let me bring it in. There you go. So I've got a little Game Boy Color. I've got a couple of these. I've also got, there's a couple of Nintendo DS's. I ain't even powered these up. These were slung in a box just like everything else. One of my friends, he's got a 3D printer. He 3D me printed this, but I ain't even powered this up. I don't even know if this actually works. So quickly, I know it's a little bit different because today I wanted to test some audio equipment, but let me just quickly, I ain't even powered this up. I don't know if this actually physically works or not. I've got some batteries here at the end of the day. Get some batteries. What's the connectors like? No, they're good. It's actually in pretty good nick. I've got a little bit of paint here. I don't know what's happened there at the end of the day. I mean, these are great to right, let's take that off. We don't need that. I don't really want to open this side of the batteries up. Is there a way I can pinch the batteries? Yes, you can. If I take them out of here, because these ones are the same ones. Let me take a battery out of my LG TV. That TV, now I was talking about that weighs 16 kg. That 85-inch TV I've got behind me, it literally weighs, I'm kid you not, it weighs nearly 40 kg. You need 3 people to lift it. Alright, me and my friend just about lifted it by ourselves, and I can assure you it was not the easiest. And putting it on the wall, it's got 2 brackets to hold it. It literally is that, it's mad. This port, which guys, what do you reckon? What would you like to see if it boots up? I've got a box of these games. I've got Pac-Man Collection, Super Mario Kart Circuit, Mr. Drift, Mr. Driller, Need for Speed Most Wanted, and I've got Super Mario Advance. So you guys tell me which one should I put in, because I've not booted this. It's been sitting on top of this since the day I got it, and that's probably about 6 months ago. So I was sitting on it. Game Boy Advance, love it. Yes, yeah, guys. What games do you reckon that I should try? You pick one, and then I'll test it. It's all new. I haven't tested this, so I've not even give this a go. And it's in pretty good nick. It's got a little bit of paint down at the bottom, you know, but just hoping it works. Should we try Pac-Man the collection? Let's try Pac-Man the collection. Let's put the Pac-Man collection in. I love Pac-Man. Who don't like Pac-Man? Right. What's the chance of this working? A bit like everything else, I'm going to say, yeah, it probably will be. I can't see why not. Yay! She breathes life. Wow. Have we got sand? Is that it? Is that the sand on it? Jesus, that's crap as anything. What? That's maximum sand. I kid you not. That's jokeable, isn't it? Wow. How do I start it? Oh, here we go. Pac-Man. So we got Pac-Man on here. Pac-Man full screen. We got Pack Attack, Pac-Mania. Oh, I like Pac-Mania. That's good, that is. That's the 3D one. Let's put Pac-Mania on. I love the Pac-Mania. It's not very loud, no. Oh, it's in demo mode. But it works. She breathes life. Do you know what? It's been sitting on my work. It's been sitting on top of all my retro stuff, right, for about 6 months. I didn't even bother putting batteries in because this come in a box with all the other stuff that I had to pick up. I had to go down, like all the other retro stuff. But I want to do what I want to do. I want to create a second channel, and I want to do a retro channel because I've got stacks of stuff here that's been modified. And it's all, and these have all the games. And what I want you guys to pick a game, and pick me a challenge to see if I can do it, because that's why I wanted the capture card. But unfortunately, that capture card, that Elgato, because that was over £100, I bought it, but I'm not getting no audio out of it. So for some reason, I've got video, I've got no audio. So I don't know if it's my capture card. So that's why I asked JFix, what one did you use? And he, lucky enough, I've ordered it. I've just got to wait. It ain't coming to next week, which is a bloody bit of a bummer, really, because I'm hoping that one, because I've got these type, but these type here. I've got 2 of these. I've found another one, but it's same in white. But I'm going to see if that's a difference. But the sound, that's the maximum sound. That's terrible. Oh, that's appalling. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I go to bloody idiots, if I go to Luke's website, Retro 6, because that's what I said. He sells these all modded, and he does what they call a clean screen, a clean power, and also he's got a clean audio for the Game Boy Advance. But they are pretty pricey. The clean audio is about £36. The clean screen's about coming up to 45, and the clean power is about nearly 40 quid. So I suppose but remember, if you're doing that, you are prolonging its life, because now you've got an original case, and you've got it'll have a nice bright LED screen with a nice big built-in speaker, and it's going to be bright. So I'll probably. What I'll do, obviously not this week because I've got some bills to pay out, but the following week I'm probably going to start ordering some bits, and I want to do some upgrading on this. Probably do a total upgrade the screen, the audio, and the power outlet. So because the power outlet ones that he's got on here, it doesn't run on AA's. He uses one that's got like a flat battery, and it lasts for about 36 to 40 hours because it's all been modded, because he's reversed all the engineers on these, so give or take. But yeah, I think that's great. I think do you know what, I really had issues. I thought, I bet that don't work because it's been sitting up on there. Let's just quickly try let's try Mario Kart, the Mario one at the end of the day. But it is Game Boy Color. It's not loud. Which Elgato do you have? I bought, where is it? I'll show you the one I bought, the Elgato Nero. I think it's the Nero. Yeah, it's over here. That's it. It's a 4K. Well, it says it's 4K. That's what it says. Yeah, that's it. So what I've done, I bought I bought this Elgato one, and it weren't cheap. This one's about 80. I don't know if it's 80 or 90 quid, something like that. The Game Catcher Nero. Apparently it's supposed to be the new one, what they had, but you've only got HDMI input and output. There's no audio jacks on these, so it all goes through the audio. But what I wanted it so it can go into, plug the old games consoles in, and then so I can have the game audio going in and straight out to the HDMI. And obviously you've got to power these up, because otherwise you won't get no signal. And you can select 720 or 1080 on there, but the audio comes out, the video comes out, no audio. So I don't know if this has got a fault or it's down to these crummy things, because like I said, when I put the when I put the HDMI, it works lovely. So I'm indicating that it's these boxes. These ain't the greatest when it comes to that. On the splitter, if that's a switch. Yeah. No, that switch on there, that splitter, it's just 1080, and it basically 1080 or 720. Oh, that deal switch. Yeah, but the sound on that, I can't believe how poorly they are. I mean, I suppose that's just as loud as you're going to get it, but I thought they would have been a bit louder on that. They could have put something, but these are great. These, you know, a little Game Boy Color. But I do you know what? You know what I should do? I should really power up my Colecos, because they've been sitting on my shelf for over a year and a half, and I've not even powered them up. But at least I know that this works, because I got this in a job lot with all my other bits. All I basically done was just put it up on display. He made 3D print me this. He made a little 3D print, so it just sits on there at the end of the day. So it just docks like that, and it just sits there. Which, you know, it looks great, because now you've got all of these. But you can buy them probably on eBay. They're about less than £20. I doubt if the Elgato is 40, it's probably the other box. Yeah, do you know what? I think you're right. I'm thinking that is exactly it, bud. I personally thinking I'm going to put it down to that as well at the end of it, because I've not known these. Them Elgatos are pretty good. I mean, it's got great capture software if you want to do some editing. Fantastic. That's why I bought it. I thought, well, if you're going to do the streaming, at least get yourself a decent, you know, capture box on there. Before I go, guys, I am really curious, because these boxes have been sitting around for so long, right? With these Colecos, I'm just, because these have been sitting, it's got to be maybe over a year and a half. I've not booted these up in such a long time. I should really power these up, and I've got two of them. I've got a, let me grab the other one. There's a, I mean, the reasons why I say they've not been sitting around for too long, this one's covered in dust, and she is one dusty bitch. So yeah, she's very, very dusty on that front. Very dusty. So you can actually see. Oh, live. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, she's very. I mean, you can see the amount of, you know, the reasons why. If I put them two together, you can see the difference between dust versus clean. She's been sitting on there just gathering dust. Do you know? Now this one has got all of the bottom on these. Now these are highly collectible, because again, this coming as a pair at the end of the day. I made a small donation. These didn't work, and before I got into it, it was just down to a connection issue. I didn't do a stream for that, because I wasn't streaming at the time. I didn't have the internet. So looking at these, I want to put some batteries in, because it's been such a very long time I have powered these up. I don't know if these still, probably don't do it so much justice if these work or not, and I've got to see what they are. Are they C class or are they D class? Nope, they are D class, and I have got some D class batteries. Lucky enough, I have, pretty sure. No, I bet they're D class. They are D class. You brother. Oh, right. They might be, because I really wanted to try. It might be. I might have some in my Marantz tape recorder. Because this is a thing of beauty. I paid a lot of money for this at the end of the day, because of these Marantzes. Because Andy was working on a controller, and this one I've got paperwork, box and everything. So retail on these, you can get them in very good condition like these, can retail anywhere between £600 and £800 all day long, because these don't come up too often, and if they do, they hold very, very strong money. I think I forgot how much I paid. I think I paid about 500 for this because it was in condition, but it did have an issue. It played, then stopped, and then he said, so he let me have it for 500. Lucky enough, I've worked on these tape recorders. I know exactly what they're like, and straight away I aimed for the belt, because he said he can hear a hum, but he couldn't see nothing spinning, so that indicated to me there's a belt issue at the end of the day. And I did put that I replaced the belt on this, so I replaced the belt on this since the 20th of the 11th 24. So I know for a fact that this has got a brand new belt, and the belt for this alone, I think the belt was just under £30 for the belt, because I had to get this from it. The belt had to come from Italy. They never sold the belt for it, and this one has got all of the PQ ratings, and again, it's just, I think it's just the way it was manufactured. It was a thing of beauty on there. So let me see if I can, because this has got, if I remember correctly, did this open up at the side? It did, yes. So this can come out. That's it. So you can take it out of the case, and it was a case protection. This is in really, really lovely mint condition. It's so advanced at its time. The CP430, this model, auto stop feature. It's got auto track. It searches for the next track and stops and plays. It's really clever. I mean, it's really advanced for what it is. And you've got all the connectors. So you've got all the outputs, and it does work because I tested it. And you've got two microphones, and I use this, believe it or not, I actually use this on my retro consoles because it works beautiful. It's another reason why I invested in it. No, there's no batteries. Batteries in this, the battery compartment looks like brand new. This thing, right, is really impressive how clean this is. Very clean. So I thought I had batteries in here, and I think they was C class or D class. No, it looks like, no, are they C class? I don't think they are. Oh, they are C class. So they're C class. They're not D class batteries. So I couldn't use this anyway on that front. But yeah, so I need to source some batteries so I can test these Colecos, because they've been sitting in there for far too long. And let's put all this back, because I don't want to damage that, because this works beautiful at the end of the day. And the last thing I don't want to do is end up damaging it, and then so good thing is that clips on there, that then I can put that in there. That's it, it's done. Put it away. That's obviously I can't use that. Where's my C-class batteries? Bonson, I bet you. I might not be able to test these guys because I can't seem to find. I have got a spare. They're just big C classes, and I haven't got. Let me just quickly have a quick look in the bedroom to see if they might put them in now, or in the kitchen, because these will be the D class batteries. They're too big to put the C class ones in. Let me just have a quick snap and have a quick look. So I think what I've got for tomorrow, no, they're not in there. I ain't got a clue. I've got so much gear in that bedroom. I'm not even going to start digging it out because I've started going through these amplifiers. So what I've got for tomorrow's stream, I have got a. Let me put these to one side for a minute. I'll show you what I've got. I've got a test. I've got some of this disco equipment I can get my hands on. Again, I've not tested them. I don't know if they work. I've got two of these CD Citronics. I've got two of these. They're boxed up. These are in very good condition. At the end of the day, I've got two of these professional audio ones. These come in as a pair, and I've got to test them. I ain't got a clue if these work or not. Again, no power supply with these. These don't take batteries. So I've got a pair of these together. They both come boxed. It's exactly how you see it. Was just left in a box. This was part of that job lot that's sitting on top. I've got my hands on that. I've got a brand new car audio player thing. It's all boxed up. That's all sitting in a box. I've got to test that at some point. Lucky enough, I can test that. I can put 12 volts into that and wire some car speakers up. So yeah, I've got loads of content, but I just need to know if this gear physically works or not, because I can't sell it if it's saying that it's working and then they take it and say, "No, sorry, mate, I'm gonna have to bring that back. You say it works." Well, that's why I might as well live stream it, put it all on the stream for you, and see you guys to see it. But yeah, it's got all the box with it. I don't even know what it is. Oh, we are. That's interesting. So it's actually MP-CD. So it's a CD player. So it's a professional. Looking at that, they're saying it's a professional CD and MP3 player. Do you know what? I didn't even take no notice what it was. So that's going to be interesting. So on that front, but do you have to put these through? Do you have to put these through mixers? I think you might have to put this through a mixer. It's not a problem. I've got about 4 mixers in there, so mixers are not an issue. So I can put it through a mixer, but I think you might have to put it through a mixer if you want to put one against the other. So, but I'm sure for testing purposes, you still might need an amplifier, what they call a preamp, to put this in, or an amplifier to put it through. It's not a problem because I've got amplifiers sitting around. I can dig that other amplifier back out over there, that Harman Kardon, because that does work, and put that through in its place. So I'm not bothered. It was sitting in that place anyway. But I'm thinking for the time being, on that front, I think yeah, I'm just grateful that, you know, some of this stuff I can now finally just get through to. I thought, Jesus, because I couldn't do any of this type of equipment on any. Like, you're going through it and you're trying to go through bit by bit, and because I get it on a daily basis, near enough on a daily basis, I can't take any more. A lot of the good stuff has probably gone into landfill because I'm running out of room. I mean, obviously, if I have a warehouse, I could fill it up. That's no exaggeration. On that, I doubt the go. Yeah, but you know, I'm thinking that I've got some content there. I'm just grateful. I thought honestly for a minute. Now you guys did see J-Fix was on first, and he did see that JVC amplifier. It wouldn't power up. It powered up. It just got no sound out of it, and then all of a sudden, it had one of your moments where you put it on and all of a sudden it springs into life. You're thinking, I ain't done anything. I didn't even open it up. I thought, no, let's plug it back in again. It might have been down to a bad connection. And then all of a sudden it just worked. Perhaps all them capacitors have started to wake up where it's been sitting around for so long, you know. But like everything else, guys, yeah, for tomorrow's stream, I'm thinking I could do some Citronic stuff. So I'm going to test these. I've got a pair of them, so I'm going to test them. There's some other bits that I can pull at the end of the day, and then I can start going through. I've got some digital receivers. There's a Denon. I've got a couple of Denon systems there. I can test them. because I don't know if these work. These need to be tested because I want to put them on to actually get rid of some of this stuff, and I've got to know what works and what don't work at the end of the day, because that's the last thing I need to do, is to put it on there and it's saying no, sorry, it doesn't, and I don't want any comebacks, because the money's going to go to a good cause anyway. So I'd like to, and it's safeguarding for me, because I like to make sure everything's 100%. So, it's probably why I get 100% good feedback and all my stuff. So I get a lot of good, happy customers, but I don't need it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a bit like this laptop coming. You've talked about laptops, JFix. I've got a stack of them over there, but I've not even got round to these yet. At the end of the day, this one here is a Q system. I plugged it in. Bloke dropped it off. He went, "Oh, it all works, mate." Yeah, of course it did work. We're grateful anyway. And me governor plugged it in. She went, "John, this is no good. We can't sell this. It didn't even boot up. It was just clicking straight away." I knew what that clicking was, because dealing with computers over many years, you get to pick things up before you've even, just by the sound. And straight away I knew that problem. I went, that's hard drive failure. You're not going to get nothing. If that hard drive's failed, it didn't even display anything, because the drive's failed. So it's obviously preventing the BIOS from booting. And it did. It prevented it. Because obviously in the boot command, the hard drive was first. But I couldn't even spam to get into the BIOS, because it kept saying it is an error. And it come up error. It just come up error. It didn't say what the error was, just said error. So I took the drive out, I put it in my machine. I've got a special piece of software that tests bad hard drives, and it just said bad. That's all it said. It just said bad. So this one apparently will need a, obviously it's going to need a hard drive and an operating system. So I've got a couple of options for these old laptops to breathe some new life into them. Obviously, you can't put Windows 10 because it's not being supported. I can put Windows 11 on, but again, it's unsupported. But I'm not. I'm probably going to use alternative software, because this is where my expertise comes in to dealing with computers. I probably am going to run on what they call, you can put like an operating system. It's like Google. Google have got its own operating system, basically. You can put them on notebooks. It's on older machines, but it keeps up to 2025. So that's what I'm going to put on there. Or I could put a Linux operating system on. Possibilities for a lot of these laptops. Don't throw them in a bin. You can breathe new life into them. There's options in there at the end of the day. I mean, you can't put SteamOS on them, because obviously they're not. The one that you've got, JFix, you can put Steam. If that was mine, I would have put on that, because that being a gaming laptop, I would have put SteamOS on there, because that is like a Linux-based operating system, but dedicated to play games. That would have been perfect for your laptop, for something like that, and that will take probably about an hour to set up and configure. But that's easy to do at the end of it, because you'll have to configure the operating system to sit there. So you straight away you'll need to put that on a SD card or a USB stick, which they're easy enough to do. Run a piece of software like Ventoy and download the ISO, dump it on there, and then you should be up and running, and it should guide you through it. Because like I said, these are great for having systems, but these old laptops, these are better off with earlier systems, because there'd be more driver stability issues that you'll know that'd be more compatible, that you won't run into incompatibility modes and things like that, and it'll breathe new life into it, and you don't need to put a big drive in at the end of the day. That's one good aspect. You can put a 200 gig, you can put a 250 gig hard drive in some of these, and that's more than enough. At the end of the day, you don't need to put a 1 terabyte drive in these machines. So I've got a ton of PC stuff. I'm sure that I can source a card hard drive 2.5 inch to put in that. I've probably got a couple of options. I'll look to see which one's the best out of the two, that's more user friendly, and and what, because these are going to be sold on. So, because whoever gets it'll be just easier for them to operate. So they can browse it. These will be great just to browse the net and do a bit of media. Has this one got a camera? I don't even know if this one's got a camera. No, this ain't got a camera, is it? No. Well, unless it has, it's probably stuck. No, it's not. This one don't have a camera. So, no, this one ain't got a camera on it. But it just needed an hard drive and an operating system, and I could put that one back up and running. But hopefully, I can start getting. But that's a video alone. I'm going to need capture software for this to work to show you the process, what I do at the end of the day. And I can show you the process to breathe new life in these laptops. That's another reason why I bought the Elgato. I bought it for that reason. So I need a conversion box to put it into there, so I can then capture it through OBS and then guide you, and I'll show you guys what I'm actually doing on the laptop on that front. Because this one don't have an HDMI output, unfortunately. Oh, it has. I might be in luck because I've just seen it. This has a... Oh, yeah, sorry guys, I thought that camera was on. You can't see it. But no, it's actually got a HDMI output on the actual side. Let me just have a quick look here. Here you go. There's an HDMI output, so you can actually physically see it. So this one might be okay. So, because that's going to be an output anyway. So I've still got to output that though to because I've still got to put it through OBS. So I'll have to try and work it out because that's got. If that's a capture, am I going to connect that to the PC? Because my graphics card's only got the plug. Oh, mind you, I'll have to check the graphics card to see if that's got another HDMI. They can take an HDMI input as well as output. Otherwise, I won't be able to capture it at the end of the day. That'd be a bit of a setup. But yeah, so yeah, there's a couple of things that I wanted to do on that front. So I would definitely say that. That for tomorrow's stream, it is going to be more interesting. That I've got some more stuff to test. So I'm hoping I don't run in. I'm hoping these are all going to work because it'll make my job a lot easier. Because then I can then just get these advertised and get these sold. So it makes room in my bedroom and my living room because I need this gone. But where I'm doing other tasks, it's slowing me down because obviously I can't catch up with all what's going on. So on that front, but yeah, I'm thinking for today, the it's going to be great to have a look at the other items. But yeah, I'm going to say thanks guys for joining, and what I'm going to say is looking at the rest of the items for tomorrow is going to be really great. So I'm going to wish you, see you tomorrow. It'll probably be, what's tomorrow's? Sunday. It's probably going to be a mid-afternoon. I'll normally get back about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I'll probably be streaming. So I'll probably end up going for something like that. So I'm going to say thanks guys for joining. And, I'm glad you can join the journey and we can see what goes on for tomorrow. Hopefully it's going to be a bit more fun. See you later guys. Ta-da. See you later, guys.